I feel like that's more of like copium on your end to be like,
it's like,
"God,
why-
I'm not ill. I'm not ill.
Like, why not just say they're all illnesses?
I
Like,
don't know.
What is the benefit?
Because again, this isn't something that I would discuss with people. This
Right.
is not something that comes out in the open often. Obviously, now I'm having to talk about it in front of
Yeah.
1 million plus people. But
Yeah.
that was not my intention. This
Right.
was just a soft definition in my head
Yeah.
towards how I viewed the illness.
Okay, so
But obviously, if you're like E. coli, I wouldn't count that the same as regular food poisoning.
So bringing this back to how we start this conversation.
How did this even come up? I don't
How
even know.
often do you normally get ill?
Yeah, that's how it
Not
started. There we go.
counting food poisoning, once a year, maybe.
Okay, including food poisoning?
Oh, that's exponentially. That could be like
How many
4,
flaming
5.
hot Cheetos did I eat in that year? You know?
How risky are we talking? How risky was my year? Oh, well, last year was like, what, four times, I guess? Yeah, that's 3 of them are food poisoning, though.
Right.
So 1.
So like,
so, one.
so like, aside from this time, the last time I got ill was literally like 2 years before this.
I don't get ill often. Very rarely.
I very rarely get ill as well. Like I very rarely get ill to the point where I cannot
Function.
work. That I need to actually like take a rest and take a break, because I feel like I feel like my body. Obviously, this is all talking bullshit. I feel like my body, even if like
this whole episode is bullshit.
yeah, because like there's been points where Sydney has been like fucking conked out in bed with a high fever and all that shit, and I get like a mild cough. And that's just it. And, and she's conked out for 2 days, and I'm just like, how you doing, honey? How you doing, honey?
This is why
You need to get good.
This is why hospitals scare me as well. Because I'm like, when I'm around sick
That's right. That's how
people,
this whole conversation
when I'm around sick people, I get way more scared of being
Oh,
sick.
yeah, of
it
course.
freaks me out.
course,
I don't know
yeah.
why. Is this like a human reaction that we have, that we're like scared of
I think
sick?
it's pretty natural to be afraid of. a
Yeah,
hospital.
yeah. I feel like that's a
Because people
natural
die in a
human
hospital.
reaction, because you are averse to getting ill. You know,
Yeah.
you are adverse to
When
getting
people
ill.
are sick, people die there. It's like, why would you enjoy a place where people die?
Back when I had when I had it, I'm just trying to fuck myself. I was cute. That's cute. I'm cute.
It's just a state of mind. It's just
that shit away. It's gone. Boom. Just like that.
it's like food poisoning.
Describe my 5-step course on how to get rid of any genetic illness. So I had to go to the hospital a lot when I was a kid, because I had to get my blood tested like every 3 months or something, or every 6 months, something like that. And far too often for my liking.
Yeah.
And I hated it, because I had to like sit there for like 4 hours, get a test, wait, get another test, and get results and stuff. And then the whole time I was just surrounded by like very, very ill people. And it was always just like really scary as like an 8-year-old. And then like keep growing up and just keep seeing this. And like, uh-oh. And all the offices of like the doctors have are always like really cluttered, really messy. And I was like,
I think the one thing I hate about the hospital the most is the smell.
yeah, the smell.
Yeah,
It's
Like the smell of a hospital is just like, it's like, it's hard to explain what that is.
there was also like
It smells of illness.
yeah.
Literally. You know, like I said, when you're ill, and when I was ill, things just smell and taste different. You know,
of course.
Naturally, and it fucking sucks. But like when you go to a hospital, for some reason you get that same smell where it's just like, man, everything just smells stale. You know,
Yeah,
and
stale. That's
it's
the
the
word,
stale smell, like the magic, like the color has been like taken out of everything. You know, but like that's how I feel when I'm ill. I don't know. It just feels like life gets like a black and white filter be put onto it.
Do you like the smell of the dentist?
No.
Because I know people who love the smell of the dentist.
What is the smell of the dentist?
Sweeney Todd? What the fuck?
It's like it's like the smell of like I don't know what it's the smell of like I don't know, how do you describe the smell of the dentist?
I don't go, bro. I'm British. We don't go to the dentist.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't smell the dentist often. I'm kind of just in and out. I want to get out there.
It smells like clean teeth, but in like the worst way possible. Where it smells like chemicals. That's the only way.
Yeah, I guess so. I never really thought about it. It smells like hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of fresh, kind of like.
But like it's
all medical places
it
smell like
smells-
the sterilized.
Yeah, it smells
kind of-
clean, but not in a good way. Or it's like,
Really?
It's like, yeah, because like, you know, when you think of like, say, you know, something that's clean, right? Like, you know, like scented hand sanitizer or whatever,
yeah.
right? Or like, you know, Febreze or whatever, right? Like
Yeah.
usually it's like, oh, that's a good smell. Like that's like a refreshing smell. But like hospitals and dentists for me are just like, it's clean, but something.
No,
wrong.
hospital and dentist smell different to me. Like
No, they smell
very,
different.
very
But like,
different
I
to
feel
me.
they're in like the same like category of like it's clean, but it's not. It's not like a good clean. It's like too clean, where it's like nothing's here anymore. Levels of clean, like it sterilizes a little bit.
Yeah, so it's sterile, which
Yeah.
I hope they are.
Yeah,
I would very much hope that they are sterile. You know.
That's the smell, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Apparently, dentists smell of clove oil and tooth dust.
Clove oil and tooth dust. What the fuck's tooth
I mean,
dust?
well,
Like,
yeah,
stuff
the
that goes
drill,
up your teeth after they're done.
Oh,
like literally the dust.
gross.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, what?
I don't like
Smell
it.
of disinfectant and formaldehyde as well.
Yeah, it just smells like chlorine.
No.
It has like a faint chlorine.
No.
Maybe the dentist I go to, but I don't know if it's like next
What
door.
are they shoving in your mouth,
Yeah, what
Joe?
the fuck are they in your mouth with,
I don't
bro?
know. I don't know if they're like next door pool or whatever, but like it smells like chlorine.
How often do you guys go to the dentist?
I try to go like twice a year, just as like a checkup.
When
I think
when
they
it
say.
hurts,
When do you like put it in your, because like as British culture,
you're reminding me,
British
yeah.
culture, we don't go to the dentist like a lot, and I only really started going. Actually, like I would normally only go to the dentist before when I'd go to like Asia, and then
Yeah.
like because like dentists were actually like really much cheaper there.
I am I am before all the British tooth jokes in the comments now.
But like, do you have like a schedule of like, oh, it's been like 3 months or 6 months
My
since I've been to
dentist
the
emailed
dentist?
me. It's like, where are you?
Yeah, they
It's been 3
say.
months.
I think they say
3
when you're an
months.
adult, you should go at least 2 or 3 times a year, as for like a checkup.
Right.
I don't fucking know.
Or like you know, because the good thing with the dentist is that like even if you don't have like a cavity or you're not hurting anywhere, like they'll at least just like fucking clean your teeth.
Yeah.
I hate cleaning my teeth though. Why is that drill so loud?
Oh, the water like pressure thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The- In
my
Japan,
lord.
it's horrible.
Like to me, I think the worst feeling is like getting a filling and like I don't know, just like
Have you got a filling before?
Huh? I've gotten one before,
Right.
and I don't know that like that experience as a kid just scarred me for life,
Right.
Because just like I don't know what it is about just like just hearing the drill and just like not being able to see what they are doing to your mouth and just like
Do you wanna see? Do you want TV?
I don't know I don't know what's scarier, right? Because you know it like
I need to see this in 4K.
I think it can be arranged actually. I think
no, because like just I've it's like that feeling of just when they hit like your nerve ending for just a second.
Yeah,
I like
yeah, yeah.
that. This
Like, ow!
I feel that in my nightmares. You know,
Yeah.
like ever since I felt that as a kid the first time, that put me off going to the dentist ever again.
Yeah. The worst for me is when you hear the drill sound, but it's like deep in your ear, so
Yeah.
it sounds like it's in your ear, and
Yeah.
I hate it because it just sounds like someone's just getting into your ear like that.
I had like a night, an old maid. You know, like when you go to bed, you wear those plastic guards.
Yeah, I've got that as
Yeah,
well.
I've got that,
Yeah,
I haven't worn it though, so that's good.
yeah. I'm on it.
I forgot.
Dentist
It was-
will worry about
I know. Sorry, dentist. Fuck. My dentist speaks English too. Fuck. I don't know. It was really annoying to sleep with for a long time. I couldn't sleep with it in. It was
Yeah,
very
yeah. It took
uncomfortable.
me about a week to get used to.
Yeah.
I woke up drooling everywhere with it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's normal
That
experience.
happens.
Yeah.
That happens.
I think I didn't start snoring until I started wearing my mouth guard because it literally forces you to be a mouth breather when you sleep, right? Because you got the
Yeah.
gap between
Because
your
it's like
teeth.
it
now.
would like push my so I couldn't like breathe comfortably for my.
Why did you need to get it?
I don't know. My dentist was like, you don't really need it, but it's good to just prevent.
Dentist was just trying to fuck you over.
Oh, well, it's like $300, so I'm sure they were like, yeah, I think
you
of
definitely
course.
need this.
You
Yeah.
need this. You need this.
They were like, yeah, I think your grinding your teeth is an issue, but it might be, so we can get a night guard done if you just want to be careful, and we can. And I was like, oh, sure.
Yeah.
And then they did it, and then I just really didn't like it, so I just stopped using it.
Because I grind my teeth as well, but my doctor was like, if you don't have this guard, your bottom teeth are
Oh,
literally
really?
going to disappear. And I was
don't
like, oh,
really grind
Yeah.
my teeth.
please give me the mouth guard. Yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't really know about it until I started getting like jaw problems. So like I think like in my mid to late 20s, I started like getting jaw problems where it felt like sometimes I'd wake up and something would like feel off or like slightly dislocated or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, I never I didn't know that it was an issue until I started getting the issue, and then I went to my dentist and you were like, yeah, you grind your teeth a fuck ton, and you need to wear a mouth guard because your bite is going to get like more and more deformed
Well,
if you
after
don't
this
wear one.
episode, I'm going to schedule an appointment because I forgot to reply to that email like 2 months
Yeah,
ago. So I'll
yeah,
do that.
I totally do the
But
same
I
as
hated it when they did the mold thing, right? They put like all that
That gunk in you. Yeah.
like the putty thing, right?
Yeah.
it was so confusing figuring out how to breathe for a second. where I was like, wait, shit, my mouth is completely like covered with this gunk. How do I breathe without my teeth? It feels so weird. I wonder if that's how it feels when you have like dentures. I don't know. Just like not having teeth. It felt really strange. Also, I remember that they were like, whatever you do not swallow right now. And then I've never had an urge to swallow more in my life. I was like,
Is that a challenge?
it was like, oh. They're like blasting shit in your mouth, trying to clean it or something. Like, do not swallow, do not swallow. I'm like, fuck that. All I can think about is swallowing this weird liquid that smells like apples. I want to do it. Let me
JoJo
swallow.
fans be like,
That's the JoJo fight. He thinks I won't swallow, but I will swallow the poison.
You'll say is don't swallow.
It's true. It's true. It's awful. I don't like dentists. I don't think anyone likes the dentist. If they do,
no, I don't think anyone likes the hospital as well.
Some people do.
But yes.
Yeah. Kids want to play on the free PS2 that they have there.
Yeah, you talked about this, didn't you?
That used to be me.
Yeah.
I used to like it, but then the GameCube controls were robbed.
Yeah,
Such.
I wish I went to your hospital because my hospital didn't have that shit at all.
Have you guys ever had to ride in an ambulance
No?
Yeah, I did. Like in Japan, actually.
in Japan?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because Aki had a slight accident
Right.
at our last place, and it was pretty bad. So like we had to call the hospital, and I was riding the hospital. Not riding the hospital, riding the
Right in the
ambulance.
hospital.
I had to get an ambulance. So
Right.
I was riding the ambulance late at night, and like because it was late at night, the closest hospital was closed.
Right.
Makes no fucking sense. Like you'd think hospitals are open all the time.
Yeah.
So we had to go to like the next furthest one. So it was like a 15-20 minute ride.
Yeah.
And luckily, like Aki was okay. Like she was calming down in the ambulance.
Right.
And it was so fucked up because it's like in my head during that whole ambulance ride, like 95% of my brain was like, oh God, I hope, Aki's okay and she, we'll be able to get out of this
Yeah,
fight.
yeah, yeah.
And 5% of my brain was like, oh fuck, I'm in an ambulance. like, whoa, this is so cool. I've never been in one before. This is what it looks like? Oh shit.
I always just feel really bad. I feel like I'm inconveniencing these workers.
Yeah, even though it's their
It
job.
does the job.
Yeah, like I could my leg could be broken. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm so sorry for wasting your time.
Yeah.
Surely if someone else has a heart attack or something, you can
Yeah.
go to. Like, I'm sure I can get there myself. It's all right.
I'll just call an Uber.
Yeah.
Just call an Uber, right?
It was just like when I remember I was in the emergency room. I've never been in an ambulance, by the way, but I was in the emergency room and this guy was just holding onto his thumb. I thought that was really fucking weird. And he was really calm.
Yeah.
He was just holding onto his thumb like this, and I could see that the
Been
band,
holding onto his thumb.
Like
His
his thumb
thumb.
was falling off.
his thumb had been cut off. He was holding on.
Oh,
to it.
like in his hand.
He was holding onto his thumb.
What?
And he was like really calm, and they were talking to him, being like, "Are you ready, Mr. Jones, to go to the?" Yeah, and he was like, "Yeah, it's all right. We can go. I don't mind waiting a little bit." It's really weird. It was really strange because I didn't realize what he was doing at first until I like saw the bag of ice with it, and then he had a bandage going around like this, and his hand was like this, right? Like, and he had like bandage going around.
I just wanted him to be like, "Are you ready, Mr. Jones?" And be like, "Thumbs up, haha."
It's really weird. I've I was like TV shows in the UK, like just farmers who like had their arm like cut off,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Yeah, we'll be ready." It's really strange.
I'd be fucking freaking out. Because like if there's one finger you don't want
That's
to
the thing
lose.
you don't want to do, right? You don't
Yeah.
want to freak out. You want to be
Yeah, that's-
calm.
that's true.
And I feel like
That's
the more you
true.
panic, the worse it is for everyone.
Yeah.
So you have
Yeah,
to like
of
calm
course.
yourself down. But I don't know. It's easier said than done, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've never been in that situation, so it's hard to like imagine how you would react in that situation because you've kind of never been in that situation.
Yeah, it's weird, really, because when I've been in situations where I feel like I have to calm myself down, afterwards I'm like, is that what you see people like freaking out?
Yeah.
Are they like trying to calm themselves down, or like what's going through their head? Is it just like
What do you mean?
panic? Like when I'm like, let's say like if I'm bleeding really badly, which has happened a few times or something, and I have hemophilia, and my whole focus when it's happened, I remember distinctly, is like I'm literally just focusing on not freaking out. That's all I'm doing.
yeah.
And I'm like trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
I just think is that what everyone does? I don't know, because there's no way to get in someone else's mind. Right?
No. Yeah.
So I wonder, like, when has anything ever happened to you where you're like really scared and you're like freaking out?
Probably like I've never had anything like life threatening or anything
Yeah.
like that, so I wouldn't know myself how I would react. But if I know how I react with a lot of situations, it's just calm.
Yeah,
Calm.
yeah.
It's
you
like
know?
trying to force yourself. I don't know how the human mind is really fucking weird. Man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like I'm the kind of guy who in stressful situations just say nothing. Like I don't know, like
Yeah.
I don't, okay, this is going off tangent now, but like I don't physically react when like someone tries to jump scare me. A lot of the times, right? I remember like every time there's a jump scare or anytime Sydney like tries to like prank jump scare me, like she goes like that or something when I come out the shower or whatever,
Yeah.
and I'm just like completely like fucking the Terminator, zero reaction, and she's just like fuck you, and I'm like haha Sydney, that's right, I ain't a pussy bitch. Whereas inside I'm just like fuck my life, you know. It's like inside I'm like screaming my fucking heart out, man. So like I don't know, like
Pee slowly runs down your leg. It's like get good, Sydney.
yes, I don't know.
I am the complete opposite. Like I hate it when someone comes around the corner and like scares me. Like I always stop myself from like throwing a fist out because I'm like, it's a threat. Oh no, it's not. It's not. Okay, thank God. It's a threat. My fight or flight is just like fight. No. Okay, I shouldn't. No, but it's weird because when I had to call the ambulance for Aki, I was like surprisingly calm. I thought I was gonna be because I'd never like called the ambulance before, right? Or like because I didn't know what the fuck the procedure was. Right? So the first time I was calling, I was in my head, I was like, oh God, what the fuck am I gonna say? Am I gonna start what the hell's gonna happen? But then by the time I got finished, I was like, oh. That I was a lot calmer than I thought I was.
Yeah, Domino's will be here in 15 minutes, honey. Don't worry about it. Oh, I'm gonna call the ambulance now. Oh shit! Fuck. Sorry.
Oh, you said ambulance. Oh, shit. I thought you said pepperoni.
You're like, don't worry, Aki. The double pepperoni pizza is gonna be here in 15 minutes.
Something to look forward to. Don't worry.
Fuck. Fuck.
Who's gonna get here faster? The Domino's delivery guy or the ambulance? My bet's on the Domino's. Yeah, no, it was surprisingly calming. But then I think it was for me. I'm calm in the moment, but then when it's all over, that's when it all comes out.
Yeah.
Right. So
like, to me, I panic like post when everything just kind of sinks in to be like, holy shit, that fucking happened, and I went through all this shit, and it's only after the event has transpired that it actually starts to sink in, and I start to feel the gravity of everything that's happened.
Yeah.
At least to me. I do have a question though, because I kind of remembered this in the experience I had in the past week. Have you guys ever gotten fever dreams?
What do you mean by fever dream? Can you define one for me?
When you dream you have a fever.
When you have a really bad fever and you start dreaming really weird shit. Because I thought it was just a saying, right? I thought it was just a term or phrase, right? Until I started dating Sydney, who gets like some of like the most fucking weirdest fever dreams I've ever heard in my life.
Like while conscious?
Huh?
Like while asleep?
Okay, so
What do you mean walk? Oh, it's just fucking ravens. It's just like,
Well, no,
I'm having a fever dream.
like she's running around the apartment, or is she asleep, wakes up, and then there's like, "God, you won't believe this dream I had. I was the president."
I don't think that's a fever dream. I think that's just like going psycho.
Can we get a definition of where fever dream comes from?
okay, so when you have a really bad fever, obviously you try to rest. Your body tries to rest, right? Or at least some people's body tries to rest.
Yeah.
And then you go to sleep and you're like sweating, you start having a really bad fever, you know, as your body tries to fight off this illness. And then some people, or I'm saying some people because the experience I've seen it happen to is with Sydney, and she'll just wake up drenched full of sweat and was just like, honey, I just saw Connor in a bikini running on the beach. What the fuck is going on? Where am I right now? Like she'll just wake up and just say like the weirdest fucking shit that happened. And I'm like, what just happened? And she was like, oh, it was just.
I mean, that's believable, actually. That is possible.
That wasn't a fever dream. That was just a fever
It's an episode of Cosmos.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I've never had like a single fever dream at all, or like I rarely ever dream.
The problem is it's
you
not
have a
like you don't
definition?
dream, because I think I'm the exact same way. Whereas like I don't remember 99% of my dreams, and it's fucked up because it's like I remember some mornings I wake up and I'm like, I remember having a really good dream. And then as I am waking up and I'm trying to remember the dream again, I'm like, yeah, and it's, wait, what the fuck did I just dream about? And it's so weird because it literally like fades away as I'm trying to think about it. But all I remember is that I had a good dream.
Yeah.
Huh.
But if you told me to recite it, I'll be like, I don't know. I don't remember.
Cause to me, I feel like I just rarely ever dream. I don't know, because like if I have a dream,
No, you do dream. Everyone dreams.
I'm sure I do. I'm sure I do.
You're not a fucking reptile. Like you do dream.
Maybe I am, Joey. Maybe I am.
Do we have the definition for a fever dream?
Yeah, fever dreams are vivid, often bizarre or unpleasant dreams sleepers can experience when they have a fever.
I'm sure I've had a fever dream.
So yeah.
Yeah, but they happen similar to other dreams. They happen during any state of sleep, mostly.
Yeah, it just seems like her dreams when she has a fever is just like the wildest ones. You know,
That's
it's
so strange. I don't remember my dreams. I very rarely do. Maybe like once every month.
yeah.
I don't remember.
Really?
Yeah.
I probably can only remember like 2 nightmares I had.
But like if I have a dream, I remember the fact that I had a dream. But like
Yeah.
most nights I wake up and I'm just like there was just a voice in my head. There was nothing. There was nothing. I dreamt nothing.
Can you feel the sense of time passing when you're aware that you're dreaming?
Yeah. Have you ever had a lucid dream?
No, I really want to though.
Those are the funnest ones.
I've
only
had
it
once.
I've only had it a few times.
I think I've had situations where what I wanted to happen in the dream during it did happen, but I feel like it's a battle. I don't know. This is so hard to remember this stuff. This is what scientists have been trying to like fucking figure out for like hundreds of years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have you ever had a dream that's like been so vivid that it's kind of like just stuck with you for like years and you can still recite it? Because I don't
Oh,
remember
yeah,
like
yeah.
most of my dreams.
You
right?
have?
I have one nightmare I had when I was little that I think is the reason why I'm afraid of heights now.
Right?
So like you know how they say like you can't die in your dream, like
Yeah.
because you've never experienced it before.
I think that's BS.
Well, actually, I thought it was BS too until I had
Pretty
this
sure
nightmare.
I'm pretty sure I die in a lot of my dreams.
You're right.
I don't know.
No.
Food poisoning.
I've
One of
definitely
those food poisoning dreams.
I've definitely died in my dreams, but I've just woken up immediately as I've died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Do you always wake up? Is that like guaranteed? I feel like I've reset
I
sometimes.
don't fucking know.
Is it one of
What,
those?
you just
if you
you
die
re-
in the dream, you die for real.
Wait, you respawn in your dreams?
I'm pretty sure I've respawned in my dream. I'm near certain I've respawned in my dream.
The only nightmare I've had that I can still vividly remember is it was a really short dream, but I was like flying in my room, and then for some reason I just stopped, and then just
I
stood.
just pictured a young Joey flying in
Yeah,
his room.
I'm just like flying in my room like wee, like that.
yeah.
And then I just stopped. I remember I stopped, and our house was like it was like 2 stories, and we had like this spiral staircase that went down to like the basement floor.
Yeah.
And I remember I just stopped, and I looked down at the spiral staircase, and I just dropped, like head first. And
okay.
I vividly remember my face got about this close to the ground, and then
you
I
woke
woke
up.
up
Right.
and just shitting myself.
Right.
And I think from that point on, I got afraid of heights.
Huh.
Because
Yeah.
I vividly remember the feeling of falling, and
So
it
you-
was
so you-
horrible.
So you had your brain made a traumatic experience for you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so strange.
Like to me, like the one traumatic dream that I've had that has stuck with me for years was I remember this one time. I was living this dream, right? And I would wake up in my bed in my room that I was living at the time, and I would just go about my day, right? And then it would just be a normal day, and then something would happen that would just be like out the ordinary. Like I would see like a twin followed by another twin. Like I just noticed a glitch in the matrix or something. And then as soon as I saw that, it would like the dream would reset and I'd wake up again. And I would think that I was in the real world, and I would go about my day, and then I would notice another glitch in reality. It's fucking nightmare fuel, because like I literally repeated this cycle, and every time I would get more and more paranoid that I didn't know if I was in the dream world or if I was actually awake. I was like, is this a dream world? Because like I would go about my day, and I remember the exact moment I woke up was about the 10th time when I went through an entire day thinking, okay, I'm awake. And I remember going to the toilet, and I was getting ready for bed, and I looked at the mirror, and then my reflection turned. My reflection
What the
turned
fuck?
away, and like I fucking like freaked out, and then I woke up for real, like for real.
Wow.
And
That's like an Ari Aster film.
no. See,
Sounds like a cool film.
I woke up for real, and I was shitting myself because I didn't believe the fact that I was actually awake, right? And it literally fucked with my mind for like
Yeah.
an entire few days, because I went about those few days being like, Where's the glitch? When's it gonna happen? When's it gonna when's it
Where
gonna
are the
happen?
twins?
Yeah, yeah.
That's fucked up.
That literally, like,
That's scary.
I don't know how my mind created such a fucked up situation that it literally like fucked up my mind in real life. Maybe I'm still in a dream. Maybe I've just
Trash taste is all a dream, baby.
So when you're dreaming, right? Are you
Yeah.
able? So like you mentioned that you like flying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm in dreams and I like, let's say I do something that I know is impossible. Are you aware that you're like, you know it's impossible and that you're dreaming? Because I often always get aware.
I'm aware that it's impossible, but I think because like lucid dreaming is where it's like you're aware that what you're doing is
I
impossible,
thought-
so you take full advantage of that.
I thought
Yeah.
lucid dreaming was where you then controlled said dream.
yeah. That is true.
I can't control said. To me,
Oh, I know I'm in a dream a lot of the time.
okay. So
Okay.
so I can't control my dream when I'm in lucid dreaming state, but it's more like you realize that you're in GTA with cheats on. You know, that's how I imagine it, right? Because there have been times where I'm just like, oh fuck, I'm fucking dreaming. All right, am I dreaming? Let me try flying.
Okay.
Oh, I'm flying now.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I'm fucking dreaming.
Yeah,
This is
so to
amazing.
me, that sounds like you have cheats on. See, I can't
Yeah.
because I don't have dreams often, but when I do,
Yeah.
at some point in the dream, I figure out this is a dream. Like
I turn those
Inception.
cheats on.
This is Inception. This is Inception, right? Like something will happen that my brain chose to make happen, but I also am aware that that is not possible, and that I'm now aware that I'm in a dream. But it doesn't change how I behave. Like I know that I'm in a
Right,
dream,
right.
but I still go on the dream. It's just so strange. What's wrong with our brains? Why are we so
don't know.
fucking weird? Like I had this dream recently. I can't remember the full of it. I told the dream on stream. It was something like I was in a situation where I'd been falsely accused of stealing this game cartridge.
Yeah.
And then I was then arrested for it. And I was like, no, I'm not getting arrested for this. I didn't steal it. I refuse. And so then I like killed one of the cops and like ran away because he was trying to arrest me over the fucking game cartridge that I had nothing to do with. And then it turned out into this like massive shootout and stuff. How then I somehow kept getting away, and then eventually I got caught, and then I went to prison. And then I understood I was in a dream at this point. So
Yeah.
then somehow I magically then got a phone. This is like an isekai. I like had this phone in prison that I was then using to then play games and stuff and like have a normal life in prison.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Then my charger broke, and I remember this happened, and I was like, shit, well, my charger's broke. And then I just skipped, and I had a charger, and I was like, great. This is awesome. This is awesome. This is fantastic. I just skipped the point where my brain had to like think hard enough to come up with a reason why I needed the charger. And
just
just went,
appeared.
I have the charger.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
oh, this is great. This is amazing. I don't understand why this happens. Though.
But did you realize it was a dream, or
Yeah, but halfway through the dream, I understood it was a dream.
yeah?
But I didn't.
But
I
you
didn't-
didn't. You don't take advantage of it. You're just.
I
like,
don't know how to. Like,
Yeah,
what I mean,
because I was about to say, like, I love how in the dream you still got arrested. Like, you're like he's taking an L in the dream.
this is what I think about. If it was my dream, I wouldn't get a fucking
Yeah,
prison.
like, you wouldn't go to
Oh,
prison if you
shit.
could
That's
control
right.
it.
And then I remember. No, this is incorrect. Actually, I didn't get the charger. I remember I got really. This is where I reset. So I went to the roof of the prison because I couldn't get a charger. So I thought, what's the fucking point if I can't play games?
Yeah,
And I jumped off the roof of the prison, and then I reset in the prison. I died, and then I just, in my head, I remember there was a jump. I remember I died, and then I just appeared back in the prison again with the charged iPhone with a new charger or something.
It's like the worst version of Edge of Tomorrow.
It's a terrible dream. Awful dream.
Edge of Tomorrow jail version.
I just don't know why this was happening. Why? I understood it was a dream. Why can't I have some control over it? They're all shit dreams. I always have shit dreams.
But at least you remember, like, a lot of your
Sometimes.
At least you.
Because to me, like, a lot of night, like, say for example, like last night, right? To me, it's like, okay, I'm falling asleep. 1 second later, oh, it's 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, I feel no perception of time.
No.
Okay, when you wake up, can you feel the time without looking at the clock?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yes, but not accurate.
I feel like I'm pretty fucking good at it. I don't know what happened. I don't know
it
if I'm
de-
getting older. or
It
what.
depends on how good my sleep cycle is at that time. Sometimes, like now, it's a bit fucked up because COVID just made me want to sleep all the time. So I'm just like, okay, now I can't tell because my body's constantly tired. But before then, I would be like, you know, sometimes you wake up and you're like, it's gonna be 15 minutes before the alarm goes
Yeah.
off, and then you look at the
happens
time,
every time.
and you look at the time, you're like, I'm a fucking genius.
Okay, the reason I asked, do you know that, is because I was like, because I asked in your dreams, right? Do you know that there is a flow of time in your dreams? And are you See, this is weird. I know how much time is passing in the dream, in the real world. Isn't this weird? How strange is that?
That's against Inception rules though, because like we all know time passes slow in the dream world.
exactly.
So
Because I'll wake up, right, after a dream or whatever, and, you know, it'll be like 5 a.m., and I'll be like, I like that dream. I'm also going to go back to bed.
yeah.
And then I know when I'm in the dream how much time is passing, because when I wake up, the exact amount of time that I thought had passed in the dream had passed in real life. Isn't this so strange?
I think that's just your subconscious.
That's like
maybe
a-
like counting the time.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's almost like an alternate reality.
Do you ever have like
Who
a
needs VR? Fuck them. mate.
Yeah, yeah,
Calm
yeah.
my
Fuck
brain.
I am VR.
we all had VR in our minds,
This has got to be
bro.
one of the- this
In
is
our
one-
in
This
our
is one of the
minds.
strangest episodes we've ever done. Which this is some of the weirdest topics we've ever spoken about.
Do you ever like have a really fun dream and then you get actively pissed off when you like wake up? like,
of course.
oh my god, I remember some of like the funnest lucid dreams I've had, and then fucking Sydney wakes up and is like, Go on, let's cuddle. And I'm just like, fuck off, Sydney! I'm flying right now! I'm flying, Sydney!
I was on episode 24, and I was the protagonist,
Yeah.
Sydney. I was supposed to get what I
The
deserved.
worst one for me is like when I'm having a good dream, because I don't remember most of my good dreams, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like I remember I wake up and I'm just like, man, I don't remember what I just dreamed, but maybe if I go back to sleep, I'll dream it again.
Yeah.
And so I go back to sleep and I don't dream it again. I was like, no, it's gone forever.
Like to me, there's a point, right? Because to me, I've had it before where I've had like really, really fun dreams, and I like you half wake up, but before your mind fully wakes up, you're like, go back to sleep. And then sometimes I've been able to reinsert myself into the matrix, right?
God, getting in the alien.
I'm going in.
I'm going in. So I know sometimes like I wake up, I'm like, if I go to sleep now, if I go to sleep right now, I can jack back in. And then like I get so sad when I like try to fucking will myself to sleep. Because you know when you try to will yourself to sleep, most of the time it doesn't fucking work, right?
no, of
But
course.
sometimes like I just like try to like will myself to sleep, and 5 minutes passes, I'm just like, I'm awake now. Fuck my life. This is the real world.
I think I used to do that, but I don't ever try that anymore. I think sometimes I'm like, yeah, whatever. Just get on with it.
I'll just dream it again tomorrow night.
I'll get another one.
stream it again.
Well, do you have a theme to most of your dreams, or your dreams? Because they say that your dreams are normally like reoccurring-ish, sort of like they're similar
No.
events.
No, not really for me.
Yeah.
It's all over
I
the
just
place.
I just die in a lot of my dreams. Don't know what that says about me.
Yeah.
Maybe some dream expert, but even that, you know how people are like, yeah, your
Dreamologist.
Dreams, yeah, the dreams, they your dream. If whatever you do in a dream, there's a real meaning to it in real life. Do you
Yeah.
believe in anything?
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, like if you're stressed out, then you'll dream about your teeth falling out and stuff like that.
Something like that,
Yeah.
where they think that every single thing that you can dream of has a real life
Yeah.
counterpart emotion that you're feeling.
Maybe.
I'm sure there is to some extent, but
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
there's definitely
Probably too complex for us to be
Yeah,
able to
way
solve
too
within modern
complex.
science.
Yeah, I get like really high concept dreams sometimes. Like I get like I told you like the dream I just had, but like sometimes I just dream. And then I wake up and I'm just like, that was a really cool fucking film idea. That was a really
How
cool
God
film
gets
idea.
his videos idea.
Yeah, basically, right? You know, it's I don't know, it's so weird. I don't know how my mind works, because sometimes I'm just like, damn, I dreamed that. That was such a cool fucking idea. What the fuck? How the fuck did my mind come up with that concept?
What language do you dream in? As because all three of us can speak 2 languages, right?
Yeah.
Like what language do you usually dream in?
English.
English for me, I've rarely like dreamed in Thai unless it's when I'm like living in Thailand and I'm like using it more often.
That's so weird. Like I remember, like 90% of my dreams.
Okay,
I don't know why.
What language are you thinking though?
Depends.
That's probably why. That's
Yeah.
probably why, right? Because like I don't normally think in Thai, but there's been points where I've lived in Thailand and then my thoughts start getting like jumbled up, and I start thinking in a different language as well, which
Yeah.
is like it's really like how do you describe thinking in a different language to someone who only speaks one language? It's I don't know how to like properly describe it.
Thinking about how you think is also weird. This is now I'm like, I don't talk to myself when I think. I don't think so, but maybe I do talk to myself when I think. I'm not sure.
Some people can't though, right? Some
Yeah.
people like physically can't think out loud in their head.
Now that you're telling me that I'm talking to myself while I'm thinking, now I'm doing it. But I'm pretty sure I don't do it. I think I just do things. And I don't.
I just do
Yeah.
things.
I don't think I talk to myself in my head.
Yeah,
I talk out
'cause-
loud if I talk.
Yeah, because I remember
strange.
reading about deaf people thinking in sign language, and that just like that blows my fucking mind. It just I can't even like come close to conceptualizing it.
Yeah.
You know, but I know it happens. I know people do it, but you know, it's so weird. It's so weird to me.
This episode is sponsored by ExpressVPN.
When you use the bathroom, you always close the door behind you, right?
Of course.
You don't want random passerby looking in on you.
Ew.
So why would you let people look in on you when you go online? Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like going to the bathroom and not closing the door.
Did you know that your internet service provider knows every single website you visit? And what's worse is that they sell this information to ad companies and tech giants who use your data to target you.
Is that why there's MILFs in my area?
Well, the good thing is that ExpressVPN puts a stop to all of that. It creates a secure encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet so that your online activity can't be seen by anyone.
I use ExpressVPN on all of my devices. It works on everything. Phones, laptops, even routers. So everyone who shares your Wi-Fi can still be protected even if they don't have ExpressVPN.
And the best part is, using ExpressVPN is as easy as closing the bathroom door. You just fire up the app, click one button, and then you're protected.
So if you're like me and you believe your online activity is your business, secure yourself by visiting expressvpn.com/trashtaste today. Use our exclusive link, expressvpn.com/trashtaste, and you can get an extra 3 months for free.
Back to the
That's
show.
expressvpn.com.
Back to the show.
I would love to like be able to
Yeah.
turn on my lucid dreams.
Yeah.
If I had that fucking power, I'd be like
Yeah.
like that is literally
So it's not normal for you to be aware you're in a dream.
no.
I didn't know that.
That's not normal.
Wait, are you always aware?
Yeah, like most of the time. I'd say like 80% of the time I know I'm in a dream.
Oh my god.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're that kid at school that aces the test without studying.
No, what? Why was this? Isn't
Because that's-
helpful.
Well, no, that's not because he knows he's in a dream.
Yeah.
But he can't control it.
Yeah, I can't control it.
Oh,
So that's like getting the becoming a lucid dreamer without having the fun part of being a lucid dreamer.
It's weird because like I'm aware I'm in a dream and I know that I can want things. I know I feel that I want the thing in the dream,
Yeah.
but it doesn't always happen. Like
So,
I don't know how that
Have
works.
you ever like had a superpower when you're like in a dream?
Yeah, many times.
well,
And
define
not-
superpower.
But then I died.
It's too much power to handle for one
You're
man.
literally like in your own mind, you're playing on hard mode. I didn't realize it was that
He
possible.
gets all these superpowers and he's like, guess I'll die.
I'm trying to think because, like, yeah, I always know at some, like I said, always some. I'd say 80% of the time, I feel that halfway through or at some period in the dream, I know that I'm dreaming because things don't add up in my head when I'm in the dream.
yeah.
Even it's weird because I feel like I'm conscious in the dream, so I
Yeah.
know what's happening, and I know that some things don't add up.
Yeah.
And I'm aware that I have the knowledge from my normal human life.
Right.
And I have that in said dream. So like if somebody fucking teleports behind me, at some
Yeah.
point after that happens X amount of times or something, I'm aware then that this is now not possible.
Yeah.
Or if I
Right,
reset.
right,
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when I die and I just
What
come
is,
back.
what is this reset mechanics that happens so much in your dream? What is this?
No, it doesn't happen often, but when it has happened, like if I
Okay.
die, but I'm still dreaming,
Yeah.
I immediately know that now I'm in a dream.
Yeah.
Because I died.
Right.
Because you died. Yeah.
And also, generally,
You can't reset in real
You know
life.
what's weird as well?
Must be a dream.
I don't know if this is a strange thing, but when I'm in danger,
Yeah.
that's normally a good way that I know, because I'm rarely in life am I ever in danger in like weird situations.
Right.
So being in danger is like not a normal emotion I ever feel.
Yeah, I mean,
So when I end up coming across it in the dream, like if somebody's chasing me, that's
Yeah.
normally like a one really weird way that I get like in tune with the
Yeah.
fact that I'm in a dream.
because I also like very rarely dream for one, but even more rare is for me to get nightmares.
I see all of mine are like nearly nightmares. I want to say like, again, 80% are probably bad things.
How do you sleep at night?
I don't mind. See, okay, this is the thing, right? When something bad's happened to me in a dream, because again, I know it's a dream, I feel these emotions towards it. But then I also, because again, I'm aware it's a dream, I have this
Yeah.
weird sense of like, well, let's just see what could happen. Because I don't feel like it has any
Right,
impact
because
on
there's
my,
no
yeah.
consequences.
on my actual
Yeah.
emotions. I'm aware that it isn't. Is this strange? Is this not?
no,
is
I
this
mean, I feel
normal?
like if you have nightmares that often,
Yeah.
then
But that's the thing. I don't wake up from a nightmare being like, like in the movies. Oh, that's why I always found that shit so dumb. Because I wake up from a nightmare and I'm
'cause
like,
that happens to me.
what? No.
Yeah.
I wake up from a nightmare. I'm like, oh, check my phone.
No, I
No.
wake up and like if there's like really bad nightmares, which I've had every now and then, like
Yeah.
I've had,
I
like-
wake up in an actual sweat.
I've had like my entire life in every single aspect like ruined in dreams before, and like waking up like, well, that's good. I'm feeling better now. Because when I wake up, I feel much better. Because I'm like, oh, good, it's
No,
over.
no, because I've had nightmares where something with like bad has happened,
Yeah.
and then you wake up and you just have like this instant sigh of relief where you're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, thank
yeah,
fuck!
yeah.
I thought my life was like ruined,
Yeah.
and like it's great,
Yeah.
it's fucking great
I'm
right
comfy
now.
in this bed.
I'm
It's
comfy
all
in this
good,
bed.
baby.
It's all- I'm not in jail. I've had like so
I
many
got my
dreams.
charging cable. It's all good.
I think I've had like a dream where I've like literally had to tell my mum I'm about to go to jail.
Yes,
And, like,
yes, I've had that.
You've had that
I've
as
had
well.
that, I've had
And like
that.
seeing her cry and break down was just like
That's
was
cruel.
Just,
That's
was just
cruel.
like I wake up and I'm just like, why does my mind do this to me? Like that was like the most heartbreaking feeling I've had, which is telling my mum I'm about to go to jail, and I remember her fucking crying and breaking down,
God.
and me feeling like me just
so
feeling like
strange.
the worst fucking human in the world. I wake up and I'm just like, I've never loved my life more than I have now. I've never felt more
so weird.
fulfilled.
I've never had that.
So people in your world have like really depth emotional ability.
Yeah.
See, that's weird because in mine, it's like I'm the only person who is aware of like how emotions work, and everyone else seems to be like robotic.
Oh,
Because
so everyone's like an NPC in your dream.
kind of, yeah. Like, because when the depth isn't there, so like
Yeah.
even when my parents are in the dream, the reason again, it's another weird thing. The thing that gives it away that
The
I'm in
depth isn't there.
the thing that normally makes me
Not enough world building.
No, genuinely. This is another thing where it wakes me, like, where I feel like I become again in tune into the dream, that I
Yeah.
know it's a dream, is when people aren't acting the way my brain knows they are. But it's weird, right? Because my brain is the one making this.
Yeah.
So why does my brain make the people like this? But then in the dream, my brain also, it's like I'm playing checkers against myself. And I'm like, fantastic move, Connor. You figured out the plan. You know what I mean? It's like, what is happening in my brain?
Even when you sleep, you try to beat yourself.
I'm beating myself.
You're literally creating a game for you to beat while you sleep.
Like, what is happening? The absolute state.
Actually,
the
like,
absolute state
it
of Connor
actually like
dreams.
makes so much sense because I swear every one of my dreams is like a fucking isekai to me, right? It's, like I literally get transported into my own fucking story and my own fucking world.
Yeah.
There's depth in the world building there. There's like some high concept fucking dreams that I remember. Like characters in my dream actually act like characters in real life.
God's
Which is,
like, finally, I can self-insert.
which is like sometimes when I wake up and someone's like done, like I remember like one time I had a dream where Sydney murdered my family. And I remember waking up. I remember waking up just as like I like found her, and I woke up and I turned to her with such fucking anger. Be like, you bitch! I can't believe you did that to my mum and dad. How dare you?
You better have a good reason. You better start explaining.
We were about to go to trial.
I will see you in court.
Because like at the time, like the emotions felt so real to me that I don't know. Like sometimes when I wake up and the dream isn't resolved, I still have like those emotions fresh in my body and fresh in my mind. That it's like hard to like sometimes get rid of it.
It's like those stereotypical, like, you know, the girlfriend dreams about the boyfriend cheating, and the girlfriend's dream wakes up, slaps the boyfriend. It's like, what the fuck? Who is she? It's like, what the fuck are you? It's the exact same. I've never understood that, but now I do.
I've never spoken about my dreams in depth. This is the first time I'm thinking like, oh yeah, maybe my dreams are weird. Maybe I'm the weird one.
I thought I didn't remember much of my dreams, but now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I do just remember a lot of, because I don't dream often, but when I do dream, it's like an event for me. You know, it's literally like watching a film. It's
like,
great.
ooh.
It's great.
This one's going into the memory bank.
But also, sometimes I have dreams that at least I can only remember, that are very brief dreams, like 30 seconds of a dream that I can remember, and I've woken up. But the latest one I remembered, I was cooking meat. I don't remember why.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was in that dream
the
either.
mystery meat.
I just woke up, and I was probably the thing that gave me food poisoning. I don't know. I remember I was cooking meat, and
Do you have food poisoning in your dreams
I
as well?
haven't. I don't think I have. I don't think I have. That's another thing. I don't think I ever get sick in my dreams. From all the ones I've remembered, I don't think I've ever gotten ill in a dream.
I don't think I've.
Well, I
ever
mean,
watched it.
you've gone one step above, and you just straight up die in your dream.
Yeah. You're like, I never die from like, it's never like a dream of me on the bed and I'm like, like it's like I'm always getting stabbed, getting
Bro.
thrown, getting shot. Like
I mean, in your dream, you're you should be in like your peak performance, like your
Imagination,
peak,
go.
your peak form. I think it'd be pretty sad if your imagination is just like, nah, you're a frail motherfucker, boy. You're a frail motherfucker. In your dreams now, you can't fly.
How many times would you like to die?
But it's
tonight?
weird 'cause I've had dreams where other people have been sick in them, and I've been around just like the whole dream has been around this person who's progressively getting more ill.
Yeah.
and those
Right.
dreams are really depressing.
Yeah.
because even though again I'm aware I'm in a dream, I can't do anything to help them. I feel like, but I don't
Yeah.
like, and I still feel sad. Because seeing this dream sad version that I've made up, of them getting more dead, is really saddening. This is so strange. This is really bizarre.
I think one of
This is why Inception was so good.
I think one of the weirdest. I think one of the weirdest dreams I had, which actually would be like a cool concept, is I remember one time, I remember one time I woke up and for some reason I knew I was like the second coming of Christ. Right? I knew I was
The chosen one.
I knew
The
I
chosen
was
one.
the Messiah, right? I knew I was the Messiah, but the problem is, right? So
I believe that's called a Sigma male grind set.
so the problem is, right? The problem is, I knew I was the Messiah. But for the life of me, I could not prove it to the world, right? so I would try to go
This
out,
sounds
right?
like every crazy guy.
Yeah.
No, so I would go out and I would like perform miracles. I would go out and I would like walk on
What?
water
Okay, okay.
And shit like this. And I remember I would be like, guys, I am the Messiah, and everyone would be like, that's a magic trick. That's where's the mirrors at? Where's the mirrors
Yeah.
at? And it was just me progressively getting more angry. I think I like even fucking went on Joe Rogan at one point in this stream, right? To be like,
I am Jesus Christ. I am
to
Jesus
be like,
Christ.
I am Jesus Christ. And he goes, proves it. And I remember like,
I'll turn the frogs game right now.
and I remember I took my hand out and I just like made fire in my hand. And he's like,
Right.
that's not impressive. I've seen magicians do that. do something real. Do
you're-
a real miracle.
So all I'm hearing is that the dream god wasn't actually about you becoming a god. It was that you're furious with the current state of magic catching up to real life magic.
Because it was me thinking, if there was an actual Messiah that got born into our world, how would they go about proving it? What would they need?
Vsauce music.
Vsauce
I
music.
don't know.
But that was just like
It
me.
is very hard in the modern era because
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
special effects, there's
Yeah.
all this stuff. So
Now
yeah.
that you say that, someone's gonna make a fucking Jesus guy. Literally take that concept.
So I remember
I'm
waking.
Jesus and
So
I
I
was
remember
reborn
waking up.
as
I was
well.
just like, that's a really cool concept. I'm glad that was a cool concept. I
Jesus
lived
is the
through.
guy. Fucking
Yeah,
copyright
I
that.
know,
Jesus
I
is
said
the
it,
guy.
man.
Yeah,
No,
copyright
that's-
that. Copyright that right now.
Yeah. Now that I've said it, someone can go write a story about it. I don't fucking know.
Have you guys ever had sleep paralysis?
Yes.
One time.
Yes. I have literally seen sleep paralysis demons.
Have you?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I've never seen.
Wait, that's
I've,
not a meme?
I've
No,
never. Yeah,
that's not a
I've
meme.
never gotten to the demon part, but I've definitely had because I didn't believe in sleep paralysis until I got it, and it's so fucking weird because it's like, to explain what sleep paralysis is, basically you're awake but your body's asleep.
Yeah.
Essentially, so.
Yeah, your mind's awake, but your body.
Yeah.
So, like, I believe when you go to sleep, your body like excretes a your mind your mind excretes a chemical that paralyzes your body while you're sleeping. I believe.
Something
And
like that,
so
yeah.
It's like some Hunter x Hunter shit.
yeah, and so what sleep paralysis is that chemical is still in your body, so you can't like move, but your mind is still awake. Yeah.
That doesn't sound right.
Is that right, Ashley? Can you Google that?
Googling it as we speak.
So basically, you're conscious, but you are not able to move.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've only had it once in my life, and I thought this was nonsense before.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was on Joey's couch.
Yeah.
What, really?
Yeah.
When was this?
Just to say, I mean,
I've never known that is.
I haven't proven any concrete cause, but there are a few theories.
Okay.
See,
okay.
Demons.
yeah, it was on. Do you remember? It was your sister was there. Your sister had come, and I remember it was weird because they were speaking about me, and I was trying to get up,
Yeah.
to say hello, but I couldn't. And I was face down on Joey's couch, trying my best to wake up. And I was fully aware. I couldn't open my eyes, but I was fully awake, and I couldn't move my arms or legs.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel that like I was paralyzed. It felt that like, even though I was like willing my body to wake up, like my arms and my legs, like my whole body wasn't listening.
Yeah.
I'll say your eyes were closed because when I had sleep paralysis, my eyes were open.
Oh, my eyes were
Yeah.
closed, and I could feel. I was well aware that I was awake, and I was
Yeah.
aware of everything that was going on around me.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. Like, it just took a moment, and I felt like there was a battle when I was like telling myself to wake up. It like wasn't doing it. I felt like,
Yeah,
I'm pulling a chainsaw cord. You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like I could feel that I was trying to get through and it wasn't happening. I didn't understand why. And eventually I woke up.
For me, it was so fucked because like I remember opening my eyes, looking around. It was like 5 in the morning. I saw the clock.
So
and it was
you
like,
were looking.
Yeah.
I was
your
looking
eyes
around.
were moving around.
I was darting my eyes around, and I'm like, why can I not talk or hear anything or move my body?
Yeah.
And I was so
You couldn't
fucked.
hear anything.
I couldn't hear anything either. I couldn't hear anything. I tried to like open my mouth to say something, and my mouth just wouldn't move.
See, this is one of those things where I feel like it's definitely the mind. Like this is like a fucking a glitch.
Okay, what the fuck else do you think it is? The demons.
But like, this is why I think like when it's like it's a chemical, I'm like, I don't know. Though to me, it just sounds like a neuron fuck up in your head. That's like like you hear the do 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 do. Like
So
it's just like restarting. Like it's like trying to figure out.
So what happened? Did you go back to sleep after your sleep paralysis?
No. I woke up after like 15-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, I went back to sleep.
Oh, because this was like I'd had a full sleep and I was waking up, and I woke up and I just couldn't move my arms or legs for a little bit. And
Yeah.
it wasn't like I was trying to move it and it wasn't moving. Like
Right.
I couldn't even like figure out how to move it.
Right.
Really
Yeah.
strange.
So-
I don't understand how this worked.
So I remember the one time I got sleep paralysis, and I literally saw a sleep paralysis demon.
What
Okay.
did it look like?
Okay, so I called it a sleep paralysis demon. It just looked like a ghost.
Yeah.
So what happened is like, so I was sleeping on my bed, and then I remember like not waking up immediately, but I remember just like opening my eyes a bit and seeing like this kind of like ghostly figure. I was like, what the fuck is that? Immediately I like punch my eyes open, and like I see like this female figure like kind of like praying above me or something. I no, it wasn't Sydney.
She was like, ooh.
No, but it was literally like this like looked like a nun or something that was just like praying like above me, and I started like freaking out because I'm just like, what the fuck? There is a literal ghost floating above me right now.
Right.
How old were you?
I was around 24.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I wasn't young. I was around 24, and I remember like I remember my mind going into fight or flight mode, just like I started panicking because obviously if you see like fucking ghost floating above you, you start fucking panicking. So I like try to start like moving my fucking body to like do something, and I remember my body just would not move, and it was like it was a terrifying experience. Right?
strange.
Yeah, it was a terrifying fucking experience. And I remember it took me about like 10 to 15 minutes of me like screaming at my body. Just like, go on, move, you're gonna die now.
This sounds like a dream.
It wasn't a dream. Because like it felt like it felt like a dream and not like a dream at the same time, right? Because I was obviously in my room, but like after about 10-15 minutes, I actually like finally was just like able to will my body to like just like sit up.
Yeah.
I remember I immediately sat up. I looked up and I could see like the figure just like literally fading away as I sat up.
Oh,
It
that's
was
crazy.
like super like fucking surreal. So that's why I'm just like, oh, that was the fucking sleep paralysis demon that everyone fucking memes about? You mean that thing actually exists? What the fuck? What the fuck? That's so weird.
That's like some persona shit.
Yeah. And maybe it was just my stand. I don't know. I don't know, man.
You just lost your stand, Con. You could have gotten a stand.
Ghost or not?
Put a dick in my mouth right now, please, I beg you. Another question. When you dream, do you see, like, visually see your surroundings this exact same way? Because I don't, like,
do you mean?
like, when I'm seeing this right now, right? I'm seeing, like, the real world. And, like, it's, like, way fuzzier when I see things in my dream. Like, let's say I know there's a table there.
Yeah.
But I can't like give you the detail of it. Like I know what everything
know
is
that
around
object
me.
is there, right?
Yeah, I know everything's around me, but I can't like visually see everything that's happening. Really strange. Do you have this as well?
No, mine's in like fucking RTX
Four.
on 4K,
See, that's
60
so
FPS,
strange.
man.
Why
Mine's
is
in
that?
like a fisheye lens.
That's why like for me it's
Yeah.
that's why like for me
fuck
it's
is wrong with
sometimes
us?
it's like so hard for me to tell the difference between when I'm dreaming and when I'm awake because my dreams are so vivid and so I don't know, like I said, they have a lot of depth to them that sometimes I wake up and sometimes I immediately know that I've just woken up and sometimes it takes me a few moments to realize, okay, I'm actually awake now. This is the real world. I'm not in a dream world anymore.
I think for me, things that are fuzzy is things that don't exist in reality.
Huh.
So it's like if it's like a table, for instance, then it's like I can clearly see that it's a table. But if it's like a fucking fairy, then it'll probably look fuzzy.
Well, you know when you're trying to remember a moment that happened,
Yeah.
right? You have a picture of it in your head. You don't have it like in 4K RTX the way that you saw it, right? It's in
No.
like this kind of fuzzy. You remember where everything was. You think. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the way that you recall things that happened. It's kind of like that, the way I see stuff in dreams. It's like I don't see it perfectly. Like if I'm focusing on like this table,
Yeah.
I know Gaunt's there, for example, but I can't like see Gaunt. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
items that I'm aware that are there in the dream, I don't see them unless I'm then paying attention to them.
Yeah, because then your brain has to render out.
Right, it's rendering. It's rendering issues.
Because you know it's there, but like your brain's just like, I don't want to render this out
You
right
gotta
now.
upgrade-
I know
because-
that Gaunt's there, I just don't want to render it
Yeah,
out.
you gotta upgrade your brain's graphic
It's
card.
true, right? Because like when I like picture Gaunt now, right? I don't need to see that Joe's in the corner of my eye
Yeah.
because it's in the corner of my eye. But when I'm trying to remember the whole picture in my head when I'm in the dream, it's like that.
Your
Where,
brain's
like,
just like sequential rendering.
Right. Where it's
Are you
like
still running a 1060? What's going
my
on?
draw distance is like lowest possible. Like when I'm walking up to the building, it starts to come in a frame. It's like it's a load of shit. What a weird fucking dream. What a weird shit. It's like that though, where like the dream doesn't exist unless I'm focusing on it in the dream.
So have you ever had a dream that's taken place in somewhere that you're like very familiar with? Or like somewhere like, you know...
Yeah, all of my dreams are in places that I've been to in real life.
Right.
See, most of the time my dreams are in new places that I'm not aware of. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know what it is.
I don't think my brain is like capable of coming up with new locations.
Well, what
in
I
my
think it
dreams.
is, I think it's like stitching together things that I've seen in passing. or
Right.
pictures.
Yeah,
I think it's, and what I, you know, like I can't visualize a lot of things, but I just know what's happening and I have an idea. It's really strange.
A lot of
Right.
my dreams are in my house. They take place in my house.
That's strange.
Really?
I never have dreams
Yeah.
in my house. Ever.
But it's like all sorts of fucked up shit happens in my house that shouldn't happen
which
in my
house?
Like
Your
the house that
Japan?
I'm currently in.
Oh, the house.
Okay, so when your dreams start, right? I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's not credit sequence, shot to door, Joey opens up. Hey, guy, you know, like,
Yeah.
do you just wake the dream? It's like game start. You just wait. You just like it starts in a weird ass location, and you're like, what the fuck is going
No,
on?
it's always mid conversation.
Huh? What?
Yeah.
I never remember the start.
I'm
of
just
my
like,
dreams.
oh wait, what? Oh, I guess we're here now. Kind
Yeah,
of thing.
because I guess I only remember my dreams when I realize I'm in a dream, so I never remember how I get there.
Yeah.
you know, I
don't see like the PlayStation boot up logo, you know, like it's just like, oh, I'm in the game.
I'm
fuck,
just like, oh, Dreamcast start. Brilliant.
It's
Okay.
almost weird because I feel like when I'm dreaming, I'm watching like a video, and at some point in the video, I'll know that's me. Does that make sense? Like it's a series of events unfolding,
Yeah.
and I'm not necessarily constantly in that brain of the person experiencing it. This is so strange, right? This is
All right.
really weird.
Even stranger question. Have you ever dreamed in third person?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That to me is like the weirdest fucking dream because like for some reason in my dream it makes sense that I'm seeing myself in third person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Like for example,
Even though I've never experienced that in my life.
Yeah.
that prison one.
Yeah.
It was weird because I remember. This is going to sound so strange. I remember shooting the guns, right?
Right.
But then I also remember watching me after shooting the guns.
So it flicks between first and third person.
And the weird thing is that I then was able to feel the emotions of both.
Yeah.
When doing the dream act, and then when watching me do the dream act.
Yeah, yeah.
This is so strange. I've never spoken about this.
I've never
before.
spoken about
And
this before
now
either.
that you're making me think about this, I'm realizing how weird this sounds to say out loud. Like this must sound so bizarre. I don't know if anyone else is.
I mean, I don't think a dream conversation is going to be normal.
I've never had a conversation just about my dreams before with anyone.
Yeah.
But like
So-
the best way I can describe how it is like you know when you're like playing Halo, right?
Yeah.
And there's that theater mode
Yeah.
where just any point you can just unclip from the camera.
Yeah.
And like but I'm not choosing where the camera goes, but I'm seeing it from a perspective, and I don't understand whose or what it is.
Sometimes,
occasionally.
yeah. Sometimes sometimes I have like amazing cinematography in my dreams, and I don't know how. Like, I
If
don't know-
only the YouTube videos could match.
yeah, right. Like, I don't know how it happens, but sometimes I'm in first person, and then I go to like a new like an area or something. And I have this really
Area unlocked.
a new area on the map or something, and like my dream switches to like this establishing shot of this like new this new landscape, and I'm in, and I'm just like I don't know, and I remember thinking in the dream, damn, that looks cool as fuck. And then I load back into my character or something, and it's so I don't know how to describe it. It's so
Wait,
fucking
your dream
weird.
has cutscenes? Is that what you're saying? This man's dream literally has cutscenes, and when it's over, he goes back into first person.
It's
Holy shit!
I don't know why. Like, I think sometimes I dream in games,
Your
and
dreams sound like a Kojima game, dude.
yeah, sometimes I dream in games, and sometimes I dream in
8-hour
movies, which is why like it never makes sense to me how I can possibly dream in third person, and like at the time it makes sense because like you never see yourself in third person.
By
but-
third person, do you mean like in a movie, like from a movie camera standpoint, or are we talking like GTA, like behind yourself?
Sometimes both.
Really?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it's weird, really, because again, I know that I'm in this situation, and I fully understand that it's a dream, but I never ever like think that like this is wrong,
Yeah.
because I'm in the moment and it's
Yeah.
what my mind is making up. So it always feels natural when
Yeah.
I'm in this dream.
Like for some reason, I'm just fucking remember this now. Like talking to you guys, every time I'm in an interrogation room, I'm never like POV. It's never POV interrogation room. It's always side.
interrogation
it's,
shot.
it's always side view. Like this is fucking JCS criminal investigations or something. It's so weird. I don't know why.
funny.
I'm in like anytime I have a conversation in an interrogation room, I'm always in third person. I don't know why, but
so weird.
It always feels like I'm in control of what I'm saying.
I'm sure that's purely because we've just like consumed media where they portray those things like that, right? So like,
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see if another person who has never seen like an interrogation scene in the movie, how they would
Yeah,
view
because
that.
I've never been in an interrogation in my life, so
Right.
that's I
Yes.
guess it kind of makes sense.
I've also found that if I'm highly anxious about something when going to bed, there's like a 90% chance my dream is going to be about that.
Oh
That-
yeah.
That's only ever happened a few times, and that's only ever happened with homework and exams. Like,
I was playing that Pogo Stuck game recently.
Yeah.
did it give you nightmares?
And I had like nightmares that I was stuck in this game and that I couldn't stop playing this game because I couldn't beat it. Because I was I played it for like 8 hours and I made no progress. And then I went to bed. All I could feel was me playing the game in the dream. And then I was playing it and I was like, I couldn't get out. It was horrible.
That's a nightmare.
That was a nightmare.
true
that
nightmare.
was a horrible one.
that's a scarier nightmare than you dying.
But the worst part was I knew I was in a nightmare and I was getting more annoyed because I was like, why am I wasting time where I could be actually doing this? But instead I'm in the nightmare, stuck in a cycle playing it in my nightmare. What a weird thing to do.
Do you ever have like moments where your dream is so intense that you don't feel like you've slept at all?
Yeah.
Mm.
Like I wake up more tired than
Yeah,
before
yeah,
I
yeah.
went to
I've
bed.
never had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes because you go on such an emotional journey in this dream, or at least I do, that I wake up just like exhausted.
So what do you do then? Just get another 8 hours?
Huh? I don't. I get up, but like I get up, but like sometimes I just like feel like I haven't slept at all, just because I
Right.
feel like I was awake in my dreams, so I didn't really sleep at all. I don't know. It's really weird.
Yeah, like the worst nightmares I've had is I go to sleep obviously tired and I'm probably not in like a right state of mind
Yeah.
right, before I go to bed, hence the reason why I have the nightmare. And then I have that nightmare, I wake up in that fucking cold sweat like fuck.
Yeah.
I'm so tired after that. But I don't want to go back to bed because I know if I close my eyes right now, it's just going to be like to be continued. Like
Dude.
it's just going to happen again.
Dude, I don't know. Why is it where you have a fun dream,
Yeah.
you can never get back into the dream?
Yeah.
When you have a nightmare,
The nightmare's
you go-
like, I'm waiting for you.
When you have a nightmare, you go back to sleep, you re-enter the
Well,
nightmare.
I think it's because like probably stress and stuff, right? Like it's probably a
It just
mental
comes out
state.
from behind the tree like
Like Freddy's like, hey guy,
Yeah.
hey
Oh,
boy,
you sleeping
oh
again?
you're sleeping again,
All
nice.
right.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, I
it.
find it so much easier to re-enter my nightmares than to re-enter my fun dreams.
Can I get a round of applause, everyone? Because this episode is sponsored by Manscaped.
They've just launched their Ultra Premium Collection. Believe it or not, it's for your not-so-private parts. I'm talking about a leveled-up hygiene routine with your favorite manly scent. This is an all-in-one skin and hair care kit for the everyday man and covers you from head to toe, literally. Manscaped is trusted below the waist. Now trust them with the rest of your body.
We all know how essential the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 is for that precise trim below the waist. But now, you can enhance your perfect grooming routine with the Ultra Premium Collection. Connor, what does this include?
I thought you'd never ask, Aunt, because it includes Manscaped's premium deodorant, not for your balls, for your stanky armpits. And don't forget their body wash, which will lather you up with their infused aloe vera and sea salt shower gel.
That sounds so nice.
And the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner to clean your scalp. And finally, a free gift, gentlemen. A 3-pack set of lip balm to keep those chappers feeling moist.
That's 4 products plus a gift inside the Ultra Premium Collection. What a score, guys.
So get 20% off plus free shipping by going to manscaped.com/trashtaste. That's 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com/trashtaste. The power of attraction is now in a bottle.
These nuts.
Back to the episode.
Okay, so since we're on the dream topic, do you guys sleep talk?
Yeah, I sleep talk.
Really?
Don't think I sleep.
Generally just, this is going to sound terrible. I just screams.
Are you serious?
I like shout in my
It's
dreams.
probably every time you die, right?
Have you,
like, oh, you died.
You've been around me, right, while I've sleep talked, right?
You don't. I've never heard you sleep talk. I've heard you snore very heavily.
Yeah. I don't know if it was screaming or,
loud
or
guttural
snoring or if it was Chris fucking snoring.
Ah! Like that. And then just, like, not that loud, but like, ah! Like that.
Really?
Did you ever like sleep talk during when you did your subathon and you slept on stream? Is there like
I muted the mic.
Oh, damn! That was,
Just in case I was fighting that dragon that could only be defeated by racism.
yeah, that's true. I only asked because Aki has recently started sleep talking like a lot.
yeah?
And I'm like kind of concerned because by sleep talk, she randomly shouts out phrases that just don't make sense when you think about it in a sequential manner. Like, I remember, because Aki's the kind of person who, like, literally head touches the pillow, 3 seconds later she's snoring. Right, like, instantly like that, which I'm so fucking jealous of. But then, now it's gotten to the point where, like, 3 seconds after the head hits the pillow, starts snoring. 5 seconds later, she says a random thing. And like, I thought the first time she did it, I thought she was joking.
Right.
Because it happened in the span of like 10 seconds. So I just started laughing. Like, I think, I remember her, like she's like, all right, good night, goes to sleep, starts snoring, and then she just goes, legs. I was like,
Maybe she's
What
like
the
in
fuck
one of
was
Gaunt.
that?
Maybe she's in one of Gaunt's streams. She's like reading the title card.
chapter 3, legs.
3 legs.
And then I started laughing, and I was like, "Come on, sweetie, what are you doing?" But she continues to snore, and I was like, "Wait, are you serious?" And then she goes, "Fuck fries." And so I had to shake her awake. I was like, "Are you fucking with me right now?" And she wakes up and she's like, "What?" I was like, "What time is it?" I was like, "It's been 20 seconds. What do you want?" Because in her head, it's like an hour has passed or something.
Yeah.
That's weird. Again, like whenever I sleep, I always know how much time has passed.
Yeah.
When I wake up. I don't understand how.
Yeah, like Sydney has a lot of nightmares when she sleeps, and like I know when she's going through a nightmare because she's just in panic mode. Like I can tell when she's running away from a fucking monster because she's like. Like that.
Too much NTR.
I don't know because like I know when that happens. 'Cause I have to wake her up and be like, "You're in a nightmare, honey. Don't worry. It's all so. You're in the safe zone. I'm here.
Is she like when a dog has like a dream of running and they just like start kicking their legs?
It's so obvious.
cute.
It's so obvious. Not only like when Sydney's dreaming, but like the type of dream she's having.
Yeah.
Because she won't say words, but she'll make noises depending on the type of mood that she's in. Right. So if she's like having a nightmare, which is like most of the time, she'll start like fucking panicking. She'll have like a panic attack in her dreams and all this kind of shit. When she's like happy, she'll just like laugh and just smile and all this shit. Like it's so obvious to say. Like sometimes I see her and she's just like has like the biggest smile on her face. I'm just like, I wish I was you right now, Sydney, because you're having a fucking fun dream right now.
I don't know why seeing someone with a huge fucking grin as they sleep is the creepiest thing ever. Like, could you just like imagine walking into the room and someone's just like as they sleep? Like
That's really creepy.
That's so
Actually,
creepy.
I completely forgot. I do actually. I don't scream. Sometimes I physically like laugh myself awake. When something really funny happens, or someone says a really funny joke, and I actually like physically laugh, and I'm just like, oh, I was dreaming.
Now that you mention it, I don't think I've ever had like funny dreams.
I've never had a funny dream either.
You've never had funny dreams?
I don't know. Wow, that's so strange. Now that you mentioned that,
I'm depressed even in my dreams.
It's always
me.
something fucking extreme in my dreams.
Yeah.
Okay, it's never been, like I've never had funny dreams where I guess I'm in a deep sleep, but most of the time it's have you ever had like a micro dream?
Yeah.
Yeah, where you it's when you're like really tired and you're not like completely. It's so weird to describe because you don't feel like you're completely asleep, but then you start hallucinating some shit, or like you know
Like a daydream?
like not like a daydream. Well, what does a daydream count to for you?
Daydream is just like you're just bored sitting there and you just start imagining some shit.
No. So like you're like actually really like physically tired and you start going to sleep, right? So you're not like completely in a deep sleep, but you still start dreaming as well. So it's
Right.
like half I would say like half a lucid dream because it's so easy. It's like sometimes I wake myself up by like falling over and you get like a fucking jerk. It's like jerk and you're like,
Yeah.
oh fuck.
The Inception method.
The Inception
Yeah,
method, and
yeah.
you're just like, for fuck's sake, I was so close to being asleep, and then I had to
Yeah.
like jerk myself awake.
Yeah.
And then sometimes someone says something funny in that brief micro dream, and I like laugh myself awake. I was like, for fuck's sake, I was so close to sleeping. I was so close to actually being asleep.
I want to be there when you experience that, just to see how fucking weird it is from my perspective. It's just like God just like sitting there and just. Hello.
I've never seen Gaunt do this.
Yeah, it's weird.
No, because it's like because I very rarely like micro dream. I don't know. It's really weird, but you must have had the dream where you've jerked yourself awake, right? Have you ever had that?
You could have
why
phrased
are you
that
saying
better.
it like
You
that?
could have phrased that.
No, like your body literally jerks, like because you like hallucinate that you're. Is there another word I could use? I feel like that's the best. Jolt.
Jolt.
Okay, jolt yourself away.
Jerk yourself away.
Yeah, do you jerk your?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, I'm back, baby.
Oh, thank God.
Jolt. I've never used the word
I'm gonna
jolt.
wake up. Oh!
I don't think I've ever
We
used the
need
word
some
jolt.
synonyms for jerk right now. We do.
I've had those like stereotypical like on the train like times where like you know you're just closing your eyes because it's a long train ride.
Yeah.
And you have that thing where you fall forward and you just like that. Is that what you mean?
I'm talking about where you literally.
Or you're like literally in the dream.
You're literally like you're literally in half a dream, and then you imagine falling over or tripping over.
Oh, that happens a lot. Yeah, I do that. I like kick my leg out or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm talking about. But
Right,
instead of like imagining that I'm falling, sometimes I imagine someone saying something funny or something funny happening, and then I just laugh. And then it's just like
so it's like an emotional joke.
yeah, it's like an emotional joke.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
have
super
that.
weird.
I don't have that at all.
Like yeah, sometimes you imagine like a ball flying towards you and then you jerk yourself awake as well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
happened a lot.
That's happened a lot in my
happened a
dream
lot.
as well. Yeah.
But like, it's weird 'cause sometimes I won't be dreaming of anything, and then it will very quickly cut to a ball. Being
Yeah,
thrown
yeah.
at me.
I don't understand why that
It's like
happens.
think fast.
Yeah, so I'll literally like not be in a dream, not a dream, not a dream, and then something just flies at me, and I'm like, and I just immediately fall asleep. But it's not like a full awake.
No, that's what I
Right.
mean. It's like a micro dream, right? Where you're not fully asleep, but you're not fully awake, and then
Right.
your brain's just like, think fast, think fast, motherfucker.
So I'm just kidding. You're fine. Go ahead to bed. You're right.
Like sleepwalking.
Just a prank.
You ever met anyone who sleepwalked? You ever sleepwalked yourself? Or anything
No,
like that?
no.
My
Have
my
you?
uncle apparently used to be a really bad sleepwalker and sleep talker. Like my dad would tell me stories of how my uncle, because they used to sleep in like a bunk.
So
bed.
bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's such a crazy thing.
Yeah, and then he just like there was one time where actually no, I have a story of when I sleepwalked once.
Right.
Yeah, the only time apparently that I ever sleepwalked was when I was little. Like I was like maybe 4 or 5 years old.
Right.
And apparently I walked into my parents' room.
and I was asleep, and my mom saw it. She was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then she realized that my eyes were closed. And she was like, "Oh fuck, he's sleepwalking." And I was saying something to her, but like it wasn't really words. It was kind of just like,
Wake up, you dumb fuck!
and then. The moment she went, "Wake up, you dumb fuck," was when I walked over to the corner of their room, and there was like a washing basket, and apparently I pulled my pants down, trying to pee into it.
That's so weird. Okay. I have
And then my mom was like, "What?"
I have a worryingly similar story. Not of me. That's so crazy. So my little brother had a sleepover with one of his friends, right? And I was the one who was I'd stay awake a little longer than I should have. I was playing on my Game Boy, whatever. And our house, the floorboards creak really fucking loudly.
Right.
And obviously, I've been in this house for years, so I could tell based off what creak where someone was in the house and where they were coming from, like, and what point they were on the stairs, what point they were. Like some kind of fucking daredevil shit, except only for my house. So I heard someone who kept walking to the middle of the like top of the stairs, and then back to my little brother's room, and then back to the stairs. And then back to my little brother's room, like really slowly.
Right.
But then after this happened twice, I was like, what the fuck? So I watched, and he just walked to the top of the stairs, mumbled something, and then went back. And I was like, what the fuck? And then he went to the top of the stairs, and then this is where I was getting worried, because I'm like, what if he just like falls down?
That's dangerous.
So he just starts walking down the stairs really slowly.
Right.
And this is where I was like, what do I do? Because I didn't know what you're supposed to do when someone's sleepwalking. I've heard you've heard like myths, if you wake them up, they can die. Or something, you know. So I was like, it seems like he's doing it okay. I didn't want to wake him up, because what if he wakes up, he's like, I would. I'd fucking, I'd jump, bro. So I was like, you're awake. You know, like, I was like, shit, what do I do? So I see that he starts walking down the stairs, but like doing this thing where he's going back and forth. So I'm like, and I saw that like he was like mumbling. So I was like, I think he's sleepwalking. So I go to follow him, and he's going down the stairs really slowly, and he gets to the bottom of the stairs. And so I go to the bottom of the stairs, and then he opens the door to the living room, just goes in the living room. This is like the fucking, like, I don't know, this is like a horror film. He stood there pitch black, because I didn't turn the lights on.
That's so scary.
All I had was my Game Boy SP Advance to like light the thing. I didn't want to turn the lights on, because I didn't want to like jolt him. It was literally like, I was like this shitty like max brightness slider up, trying to like figure out what's going on. And I see him, and he's just standing there mumbling for like a good like 10, 20 seconds. And I'm freaking out, because I'm like, what do I do? Like, do I go and like wake my little brother up? Do I go and tell my parents? Because I don't know what he's going to do. So I was just watching him, making sure. Bear in mind, I was like 14, 15 at the time. So like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And so he's standing there in the middle of this living room, and then just slowly starts like walking towards the TV, and then walking back to where he was. And then he walks to the TV, and there's my video games all there, like in those like one of those old 2000s metal racks where you just slide it in. And then he just starts pulling down his pants. And then I was like, no! I was like, not on my games! And that's where I woke him up, and I was like, no! And then he woke up and said, what, like that. Like, it was really weird.
How did he react to him just like stand?
He acted like I was the weirdo. I remember that. I remember being like, what? He reacted like I was being weird. Like, because I was like, stop, like shaking him.
Yeah, I was exactly the same as well. Like, my parents were like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean, what the fuck? And then I looked down and my pants were down, and I was like, oh. Okay, that makes sense.
So he hadn't got them down, but he was undoing them. And that's where I was like, you're not pissing on my fucking PS2 games.
No, my pants were like fully down. My hand was on my dick, and I was like ready to go on this like full basket of laundry.
So when you woke
I was like, oh.
So when you woke up, did you momentarily think like they were the weirdos?
Yeah.
Okay, see, that's
Okay.
what,
I was like, because I looked over and my mum was like really worried looking, like shaking me. And I'm
That's
like,
what I got.
What's wrong?
I didn't even really know this kid. I barely knew him, so I was like, we never really like. Whenever I saw him, it was always awkward after that, because he just always remembered that time where he woke up, and I was like, what the fuck?
When he always pissed on your games.
Yeah, he really pissed on my PS2 collection. My Wii probably. I don't know what it was. Wii.
Should you actually eat on your leave?
Like, do you ever get the point where like there's something happening in the real world where like you hear a sound or something, or like you need to go to the toilet, and it gets like integrated into your dream for like a good while.
I don't know if maybe, but I probably don't remember it.
Like the most annoying thing for me is when I need to go to the toilet in my dream, because I don't immediately wake up when I go to the toilet or when I need to go to the toilet. But like luckily my brain has a disconnect between my body and my brain, because there's been several times, right, where I've really needed there's been several times where I've really needed to piss, and I like in my dream I don't know I'm dreaming, but I acknowledge the fact that I really need to piss, right? So I've had several like 5-minute pisses in my dreams, and the feeling of the piss just won't go away because obviously I'm only pissing in my dream and not in real life. So I'm like urinating, and I'm like, I get so frustrated in my dream because no matter how much I urinate, the feeling of needing to urinate never goes away.
Weird. That's really weird. If I feel something, if I piss myself in my dream, I'm pissing myself in.
Yeah, I'm definitely like that's how I piss.
Happening.
I almost shit myself doing that once.
Okay, hold up. First of all, let me ask God a few questions. How can you replicate the feeling of pissing so accurately in the dream?
Yeah,
to me,
without actually pissing.
Yeah,
in real life.
I can't replicate feelings. I know that it's not accurate in the dream. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like when I get punched in a dream, it doesn't feel like a real punch. I can distinguish between that.
Yeah,
Does it not? Okay, no. Like for me,
so strange.
for me, it
you must
feels
be in some
real.
like Inception 5th level dream.
Yeah.
I'm not getting this shit. What are you experiencing? Bro, I'm like, I'm like, so what?
I'm like 5 levels deep.
Holy
five
shit,
levels
bro.
deep. When I'm like in front of this urinal pissing, and I'm just like, why is the feeling of urinating not going away?
Holy shit,
Why am I
you're on
pissing?
some, like,
Is there an
level.
establishment shot of the toilet as well before you start?
You're like level 10 dreaming. I'm level 2. This sounds insane.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's like, I'm just like, at some point in the dream, I just give up on trying to get rid of this urination. I go on with the
So
dream,
strange.
and then I wake up and being like, oh, that's why I needed to piss, because it was a dream and I need to piss in real life.
And you hadn't pissed your pants.
No, I hadn't pissed my pants. And then,
Okay.
and I have like the most satisfying
That's
piss
so
of my life
weird.
when
No,
that happens.
because for me, like every time I've had a dream when I was a kid of going to the toilet, I've 100% pissed my pants. Like I wake up and I'm just like,
I love the
oh,
confidence.
fuck. Like,
I love that.
no, because,
I'm doing it.
yeah, because
100%.
100%. And you know, because of that, one time I almost shit myself while I was asleep. Because here's the
24.
problem. Here's the problem of growing up with a bidet your whole life, and with a heated toilet seat is the fact that it's just. As a kid, you're just ingrained into your head of, oh, my butt is warm, I'm sitting on a toilet. Right? So in my dream, I'm on the toilet and I can feel that my butt is warm, right? Because it's a heated toilet seat.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, oh, butt warm, I'm on a toilet. This is reality. I'm actually going to take a shit. And so in my dream, I remember I almost start taking a shit, but then I was like, something's not right. Why can I not shit right now? It's like I had the feeling that I needed to shit.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. Like nothing was coming out. And it wasn't like a constipation or everything. It was like literally like I know I need to shit, but nothing's coming out.
Right.
And then I woke
We always
up
talk about shit.
and I was like, oh, now I actually need a shit. Like I was like prairie dogging in bed. And I was like, oh God, I was this close to shitting myself in my
so
bed.
strange.
Yeah.
I'm in my dream. I'm able to communicate to like my non-dream brain, being like, "Oh, you need to piss."
Oh no, I'm not like that.
So I can stop the dream if I need to pee. Like I can control
Oh,
that.
there's been so many instances where I know I'm in a dream, like I'm in a nightmare. No, it's every time. I'm in a nightmare. I know I'm in a nightmare. I can't wake up. I'm just like, go on, wake up now. Please wake up. I remember one time I was getting chased by this murderer or someone like that. It was like a scene out of what's that Jack Nicholson film, The Shining.
Yeah.
It was like the scene out of The Shining where I'm like getting chased by fucking Jack Nicholson or something.
Yeah.
And I knew I was in a nightmare.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to experience dying.
Yeah.
Right? In the dream, because it still felt real.
Yeah, of course.
Right? And I'm just like, go on, wake up. Nothing happens. I'm like, God, I know you're dreaming right now. I know you're fucking dreaming. Fucking murderer like goes around the corner, start fucking legging it, and I'm like, God, I know you're dreaming right now. Wake up. And my body refused to wake up until I died. And it was,
Right.
I don't know why my brain is such an asshole that I can't
that
wake
sounds
myself
rude.
up.
It's like, no, you want to experience this.
But I can only choose to wake up when I need to pee or shit.
Okay.
Oh, I can't even do that.
I can't.
So I
do
can
that.
I in the dream I'll feel it. I know that when I'm experiencing this dream that I can feel this like urge.
Sensation,
Yeah.
And I know that I need to do it.
Yeah.
And I won't stop the dream unless I get to a point where it feels uncomfortable, and then I think I'll just be like,
Damn, you're on like 5G. I'm on like dial-up.
I don't know.
Like I'm just like, you need a pierce, and my brain's like, all right, hold on, sending the Morse
so
code right
strange.
now. It's gonna take a while.
Weird, man. I
this-
wonder.
That's too late.
I
yeah.
wonder. This
I'm
has
sure
been-
people in the comments have like even weirder dreams.
I'm curious now because I don't think I've ever had such an in-depth talk about my dreams
I've never
before.
spoken about my dreams before. I
No, no.
didn't even know it was not. I thought it was normal that you knew you were in a dream.
No,
I thought that was normal.
Yeah, that's a lucid dream. That's why they call it a lucid
It's not
dream.
for you.
I thought everyone had that because that's mainly the ones I have.
I've tried like using methods to lucid dream because there's like tutorials of
Yeah.
like here's how to lucid dream,
Yeah.
and one of them
Why
was
would
like cut a ping pong ball
So-
in half and put them on your eyelids.
So
and I'm like,
people want to lucid dream?
yeah,
Why?
Yeah,
because they want
because-
to control their dreams, right? They want to
Yeah.
do whatever they want in their dream.
Because most people, when they know they're in a dream, can
There's
control,
no control.
their dream.
Yeah, like I have no, like 99 times out of 100, I have no control of my dreams.
Yeah, it's weird. When I have
You
lucid,
control your dream.
So you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
like
I
your
s-
imagination. Just fucking do it normally. Do it awake.
no, I can't fly in my dreams. I can't fucking like run at 1,000,000 miles an hour. In,
I
in
can if
real
my
life.
brain forces me to like experience it.
Yeah,
But I can't just
Like
be
if-
like, I can't just be like, all right, tonight I'm gonna dream about, I don't know, fucking 100 bitches. Like I can't do that.
Doesn't that take away the excitement of dreams if you choose what you're doing?
no, it just means, like I said, it's literally to me, it's like playing GTA with cheats on, where you just like have
What a
fun.
weird
Yeah, like to me, it's just having like fun in this open world.
Yeah.
Like at that point, like people are NPCs when I realize that this is a dream, and I'm just like, I can do whatever I want. I can fly to a different city. I can, I can jack cars. It's fucking great. I have so much fun.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I would be interested in someone psychoanalyzing our dreams.
Yeah, honestly.
Like because we all obviously have 3 different perspectives on how we dream and how like the experiences we have when we dream.
So bizarre.
This has been a very bizarre episode of Trash Taste.
Dreamologists out there, is that what they call it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Dreamologist.
Sounds like a Disney job.
Dreamologist.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, what are your experience with dreams? Do
Let
you
us know.
do you relate to us? Do you have something entirely different? Let us know because I
Yeah, are you a
genuinely
god, Joey, or Khan?
yeah,
Can't. You're Khan or Joey or Khan.
yeah, genuinely because I've never heard of anyone really talking about their dreams in depth.
Strange.
And yeah, this is the first. This is the first time for me as well.
Wow, weird.
Yeah,
You know what isn't weird though? Our patrons.
Hell yeah, they're
I
not.
bet they have awesome dreams.
Hell yeah.
They can control their dreams. Just like you can control yourself by supporting us on Patreon at
Yes.
patreon.com/trashdays. Also follow us on Twitter, send us your memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify.
I can't wait for the fucking memes of this episode. Of like the fucking wacky fucking dreams that we've had, man.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
It's gonna be like the wildest dream, the wildest week in the subreddit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but that's been this dream-filled episode of Trash Taste.
Don't worry, this wasn't a dream.
This entire episode has felt like a fucking fever dream. That's how this episode started, actually. Talking about
I'm waking
fever
myself
dreams.
up from the stream because I really need to piss.
All right. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Bye. Yeah. And basically, she experiences the best sex of her, or just one of the best experiences of her life. because
Literally her
she's-
first time.
she's a virgin then, and she just becomes kind of a nymphomaniac, right? Where she just
and a drug addict.
yeah, well, a sex addict and a drug addict
Yeah.
at this point, right? Where she's addicted to the sex and she's addicted to the drugs and she's addicted to the sex and drugs, and then it just kind of spirals down from there. It is a downward curve from like chapter 1. You know?
But you almost feel like when the character is like this disconnected and like barely gives you any signs of wanting to, I don't know, like this, it feels so forced at times. This decline of mental state where it's like, all right, you're just doing the fucking best of depression hits at this point or something. You know what I mean? Like it's literally you're just trying to get. I feel like they're just making things bad for the sake of it. Like there's like a lot of the time I was like, I guess.
Yeah.
Like there was a moment in it where I was like, I don't know, X to doubt on that one. Where like
Which point?
So it was in the school.
Yeah.
Where during the story, they know that she went to a hotel. Okay, I suppose I should back up. So she has this boyfriend, who's kind of a scumbag, gives her drugs, and then she kind of wants money. So she starts fucking an old guy who gives her money. A little disturbing, and the sex scene
Ugly
is
bastard tag.
Literally, really, it's not an uncomfortable. It's quite uncomfortable. What am I saying? It's very uncomfortable. I don't mean to say not uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. And then for some reason, one of the students finds out that she went to this place. So. I mean, I don't know, because what show?
And they both start with A-N.
What show can you compare Haruhi Suzumiya to? If you had to, the closest comparison.
Here's the thing, like Haruhi Suzumiya inspired a lot of like.
I came after that huge way. I became an anime fan after that huge thing that had its impact, right? So I think I came into it with like zero attachment to it in any sense.
Yeah, because I think the thing with Haruhi that I find really interesting is the fact that it's one of those anime that is like really weirdly tied to the period that it came out in, much like Lucky Star, I feel. Because like
I think that's why I don't give a shit about it either.
Right, because like the thing is like I fucking love both Lucky Star, especially Lucky Star. Like, I think it was fucking amazing. But like the problem is that the references in Lucky Star and like the whole fact that it really reflected the otaku culture of the mid 2000s is what made that show really funny in the mid 2000s. But as much as I love Lucky Star, I can't really recommend it to people today.
No.
Because the scene has just completely changed. Right?
Yeah.
But does that mean you can recommend Haruhi Suzumiya today?
Yes.
I can.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
I think I ruined it for myself.
yeah, you
I think so.
you basically just watched the climax. You watched the climax before like watching any of the build up.
Yeah.
So now you just kind of ruined it.
That's why I kind of don't feel bad for being like, I think it's not that good, because I'm like, I know I ruined it for myself, and it might have been.
The only way to like
know.
top that experience is if you committed to reading all of the light novel.
I'll be dead before I read a light novel.
I'm
never reading a light novel.
I did that, and like the final volume of Haruhi was like pretty fucking good. So you just have to sit down and read 9 volumes.
I have no interest in reading a light novel ever.
Because I remember like a lot of the elements in Haruhi have been done in other places now. Because like there's a lot of like self-referential humor in Haruhi, and I remember when that was like an innovative thing. Like remember when every fucking light novel wasn't trying to parody every other light novel. And now it's just gotten so fucking lazy with its self-referential humor.
Well, again, like that's the whole thing where it comes to like the time period,
Damn,
right?
you
Because
guys sound like anime boomers. we had it better back then. You should have
because like in 06 when Haruhi and Lucky Star came out, like as you said, like the whole like self-referential thing, and I think the whole meta aspect of anime was just so new. Like I remember
it was such
when
postmodernism.
it was.
It was so postmodern at the time.
No, because like I remember like at the end of every Lucky Star episode, while the credits were rolling, there was no ending song for Lucky Star. What it was these scenes of all of the Lucky Star characters in a karaoke booth, but you were outside of the karaoke booth, so you could only hear them. But the conversations that they were having in the karaoke booth weren't characters having a conversation with characters. It was voice actresses having a conversation with voice actresses.
Yeah.
And people are like, of course, they're voiced by voice actresses. These aren't just characters on a screen, they're real people. And that meta was like, that was fucking cool, because no other anime did that. No. You're laughing.
He is laughing.
You don't understand.
Sit down, you're gonna sit down, and you're gonna respect this culture. You're gonna respect this corner.
I just don't care.
It was cool back in the day.
Because
back in the day,
meta anime, like I still think meta anime peaked with Monogatari. Like in terms of like light novel like shows adaptations, it kind of like peaked with Monogatari. And there's been other good light novel shows as well that have been meta. But I'd say, Haruhi really was the first time I noticed it. It was Haruhi and Lucky Star, and then Monogatari was the one that came afterwards. And then it kind of like nothing outdid it. And now you see a lot of lazy fucking attempts at meta humor and meta jokes. Like there was one anime I saw recently, which was like such an eye-rolling moment. Is the MILF Isekai that aired last year. Okay.
Everyone's favorite.
Yeah. Okay, because it was, everyone thought, and it kind of marketed itself as like a parody of the isekai genre, right? Because it's like, it's the isekai genre, but there's a mom this time. It's
different now.
It's different because there's a mom this time. And I remember there was one joke. Okay, they were in a hot springs, right? And there's this one tsundere that's in the hot springs, and then she stands up and she's naked in front of the main character, right? And then the main character literally says, this is the scene where you're about to hit me, right? And the scenery goes, but how about if I don't hit you? I bet you weren't expecting that, were you? And the main character goes, you're right. I wasn't expecting that. And the Cinderella just goes off crying. And that was the joke.
Wow.
That was the joke.
I remember we had this exact same conversation in the Isekai tier list video. You were like fucking like fuming. I'm like, this is not how you write a meta joke. You basically explained the meta before you told the meta.
First of all, I want all my anime scenes acted out by Gaunt like that. Yeah. Very dry. Second of all, I just like. Whereas you tend to watch the trash isekai, I could give less of a fuck about the isekai that's coming.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
It's so like, it just iterates on itself and then changes one thing. It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's another slime one, except he's like a green slime next, right? And it's just like, that's gonna be the next big thing.
That's just season 2.
Yeah, it's just a green, and it's just like I just struggle to give a fuck about any of the isekai that come out. Like I wanted to watch the mum one just for the memes, but I couldn't even muster up to like type it in.
But the thing is, it wasn't even that good for the memes. Like it was. You saw the title, you're like, haha, I can make a meme out of this, and then I did. Yeah. And then I watched 2 episodes, and I'm like, nah, I'm done.
Because I want to watch these shows so I can talk about them, but then I realized like. By now, maybe I don't even know that 6 months after that show's aired, that meme is long dead, and no one's going to mention it.
Not
in
even.
6 months,
It's
right?
like by the time the next season comes around in 3 months' time, no one's fucking.
And
talking
then
about
maybe it'll be like a factoid one day. Like, did you watch that Mum Isekai? Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's
You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to watch it for any reason.
Right.
Because for me, watching trashy isekai or just trash anime in general, because apparently that's my brand or whatever, it's just the reason I do it is because it's just the easy turn your brain off show of the season, right?
Yeah.
You know, like I have to be in a certain mood to watch something like Monogatari. You know what I mean? Like I can't just be like, I can't just like casually sit down having like my lunch or something and like I'm gonna like.
Monogatari is like the antithesis of I'm just gonna put something on.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
like,
exactly.
You don't put Monogatari on.
Whereas with the trash isekai, like I just sit down for lunch and I just put it on, you know, and I just don't have to think. I watch it every week, and then I just and those are the shows I end up watching because they're like the easiest watch because I know what I'm getting into. I'm not being challenged. You know, I'm just like, okay, this character's gonna do that, whatever.
How much of a brain dead show can we make this season?
Go on.
No, which is why I can watch them because they are brain dead. Because I don't have to think. Because you know sometimes where you watch like a good show, right, and sometimes you just really want to be in that right mood to watch something heavy or something good. But with the trash shows, I never have to be in a certain mood to watch it. You know what I mean? Which is why I found that I've watched more trash shows because. Like sometimes I don't know. I get anxiety sometimes when if I know
It's a good show.
If it's a good show, but I'm not in the mood. Do you know what I mean?
No, I totally had this, right? What was the show? Keep Your Hands Off.
Eizouken.
Right. Like that was one of those shows where I'm like, I can't just watch this.
Yeah,
like,
You have to commit to it.
It seemed like such a passionate thing where I was like, I can't just half-ass this. So I watched one episode and I liked what I saw.
Yeah.
But because of that, I just never watched episode 2 because I had to be in that mood to watch it, and I never was.
Yeah.
It's those are the types of shows
'cause
that are like really hard to like stop and then get back into.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I know that was a good show. I know it was, but I didn't care enough to like find that time to be like, I want to keep watching this. And I feel bad because like everyone was like, this is the best show of the season.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like watching like the 100th documentary on Netflix, you know, like, because
I have no time.
I don't know. I've had that problem a lot more with anime recently.
I feel you.
I think this is the reason. This is the fucking reason I still haven't watched Full Metal Alchemist, okay?
Yeah.
Because you know it's good. And
I know it's good, and I'm like, because here's the thing. I can go years without watching or reading a manga of a series that I know I'm going to love. But I want to be in the right mood, and it might take years, it might take a fucking decade. Okay, like last year, I finally read 20th Century Boys.
Okay.
And it went from, like, I know I was going to read this since I basically started getting into manga to, okay, this is, like I thought, one of my favorite mangas of all time.
Yeah.
And it's fucking incredible. But I had to wait, like, so many years to experience it because I just wanted to be in that perfect zone to read it. And I'm so glad I did. because there are some shows. Do you have some shows that you think if you rewatch it, you won't enjoy it as much?
Oh,
because
yeah.
you're not in the same headspace.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
90%, I think.
Yeah,
I think so.
Because I feel like that's why I can never get behind watching anime weekly. Because to
No,
me,
I can.
I can't.
I can't because
do it
like
anymore.
I'm always in a different headspace sometimes when I'm watching a
'cause
show.
There's some shows that like transcend that, and like they're so hype.
Such as?
Attack on Titan. Watching that weekly was like hype as fuck. Every single week, no matter what, that one day it came out,
Yeah.
I was hyped as shit for that shit.
Because I binged that whole series.
Right,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like it was such a good episode by episode that like even though it sucked to have to wait a week. It was like
Yeah.
so good because that one day in the week you got like a treat, and it didn't matter how bad your mood was or where your headspace was at. For 25 minutes, you can shut your brain off and just have a fucking time. It was great.
Man, I used to be able to do that so easily when I was in like
Yeah.
high school and uni, but like,
And as well, joining in like the discourse online, like talking about it.
I feel like that's a different side that I never got growing up with anime,
Yeah.
which is the social aspect. Because for me, it was just I watch a show and I'm like, that was an amazing show, and I have no
Yeah.
one to talk to
yeah,
about.
same.
It's the social aspect has quickly become one of my favorite parts of like watching anime, and it's
Yeah,
why like I caught up to Demon Slayer on episode 19.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because I wanted to get involved with the social discourse because the memes
Yeah.
are great. I love memes.
No, the
Who
memes are
doesn't
great,
love
and
memes?
like it's made it so if a show has like a bad ending or something, I still enjoy it because
'cause it's a shitstorm
Just
on
the
Twitter.
shitstorm
Yeah,
that
yeah,
follows
yeah.
it.
I love
Like,
that shit.
I remember when Darling in the Franxx ended, and
Oh.
and there was this shift at like episode 18 or 20. I can't remember the exact episode, and then everyone lost their shit, and like it's not a good ending, but I had a blast watching it. You know what I mean?
I just realized something. I remember that, when Big Ed was a thing. I know, bear with me. This is
Yeah.
going to make sense.
Go
This is
on.
going to make sense. Big Ed from 90 Day Fiancé was
Yeah.
a thing,
Okay.
right? Like, it was, great memes, fantastic.
Mm.
I went and started watching 90 Day Fiancé because of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's just like not the same. I was watching it and I was like, oh, it's because I need the YouTube comments for every clip. Because it's like one thing to have a clip is it's funny, but when
Yeah.
there's like just the perfect YouTube thread roasting the
yeah.
shit out of
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it's so funny.
Oh, yeah.
And like, and also when someone's an asshole on a TV show, you want to be like, everyone else thinks this guy's an asshole, right? Let me go and check the comments real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah, yeah.
Because do you get this now where you watch some YouTube videos or clips from shows or YouTube video where they do something in the clip and that's the moment where you open up the comments, you're
Yeah.
like, I hope everyone's talking, I hope everyone's talking about this. And that's what I love about watching Anime Weekly is that you get that kind of like, everyone's going to be talking about that thing that just happened on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be
Right.
fun. I love joining in on that. But then like you said, oh, go on. Go
Do you
ahead.
ever get personally offended when you go on a YouTube video and then the comments are disabled? Like, even if
yeah.
it's something you never wanted to comment on or you never
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah.
if it's just most of it is like anime trailers or
Yeah.
anime openings. Sometimes I see the comments are disabled. I'm like, I don't know why, but I feel offended.
I'm
I-
just
I'm
like,
like-
you fucking pussies.
Yeah, I turn like American for like 5 seconds. I'm like, free speech is dead. Where's my Second Amendment? I don't know. Yeah, but like going back to what you said earlier with the if you rewatch the show not in the right headspace,
Yeah.
like I just for some reason I was like, I'm pretty sure if I rewatched Darker Than Black, I wouldn't think it's that good of a show. But I remember
No,
really
I agree
liking.
with that.
I remember really liking that show.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to leave that memory.
There's a
thinking-
lot of
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
like
Thinking that
that.
it was
Like
at
a
that
lot
time
of shows
period.
like that of that time. Like Ergo Proxy for me is one of those.
Yeah, I rewatched Dogo Proxy. I don't think I'd like it.
I don't think I'd like it as much, but when I watched it, I was in that like perfect, like
Right,
angsty, like big brain boy mode where I was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like, yep.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
shows that I'm just leaving in that bubble where I'm,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm happy to talk about these shows, but I never want to rewatch them.
No.
Yeah, because like for me, the one big show for me is Kado no Kyokai.
Yeah.
I watched it when I was like in a really dark headspace.
I watched this one with the blood sword.
No, that's
No.
Beyond the
That's
Boundary.
Beyond
That's,
the
a different
Boundary.
one.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about Beyond the Boundary. What are we talking about?
He said Beyond the Boundary.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Kara no Kyokai.
Yeah.
It's Kyokai no Kanata is Beyond the Boundary.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. Oh,
Yeah,
my
that's
God.
it. I was like, what the fuck's the Japanese title of that? yeah. That's the one with the pink-haired girl in the glasses with the
Yeah,
blood
yeah.
sword. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's
the
about
swan.
it's the one with the assassin who has
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
death
yeah.
eyes or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I was in a really dark headspace when I watched that, and
I've become.
no, but like it was one of those series that I don't want to be that guy,
God.
but it was like kind of life changing for me, like because.
Okay, now we need to know. Please explain. How did that
Please,
change your life?
please
No,
elaborate.
because like I was like I don't want to get into too much in the detail, but I was like in a headspace that I was like kind of like the lowest I've ever been in my life, and then I watched this series and it connected with me on a level that's nothing else could at the time. And it kind of like really changed my perception of the world and everything like that. And because of it, it's like one of my favorite anime of all time. But because I'm not in the same headspace that I am now that I was back then, I'm so fucking terrified of rewatching it. Because if I rewatch it and I just don't get that same connection, that I'm like, I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose what that series gave to me at that time of my life. And that's like the one series that I really hold like really close to me. And another series is actually Evangelion, because Evangelion I think is one show that is just infinitely rewatchable, right? Because every time that I've watched Evangelion, I've got a different experience out of it.
I 100% agree with
I
that.
watched it first time when it came out on Netflix. First time I've watched it.
How'd you find it?
It was good. I mean, I think because it was the mega hype show that it was, I think you go in expecting too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I was happy with what I got. It was just very confusing.
That's under Hideaki for you.
But it was great, and I liked how he built the world as a very, very terrifying one. And I feel like it's a lot of anime struggle to do that.
Yeah.
And like a truly terrifying world.
Do you have like that one anime that, as Gon said, is like life changing for you?
Yeah. I mean, we spoke about it last episode, which fucked up the recording, by the way. But Boku Rano is definitely one of those shows that like I think definitely changed. Like,
Yeah.
Because it was, again, I think it was a similar thing where I was at a point where I think I was really confused with what I wanted in my life.
Yeah.
And it really helped like ground me a lot and really understand a lot of emotions that I was perhaps feeling.
Can we re-talk about Boku Rano? Because I want the audience to know about Boku Rano.
Yeah.
Not enough people have seen Boku Rano, unfortunately.
It's one of those shows where it's not the best show, but it's a very important one that I think people should watch.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to describe that.
It's
like,
very
eloquently.
disturbing, but not for like the conventional reason for it being disturbing.
Yeah.
Right?
So what Boku Rano is about is there's this group of kids.
This is going to sound awesome, by the way.
Yeah. No, because it sounds like an Evangelion ripoff.
It really
right?
does.
Because there's these group of kids, and then I think they're on a school trip or something. It's been a while since I've
they're on
seen
a school
it.
trip.
Yeah, and then they find this. All I remember is they find this cave with a talking head or something like that.
No, so there's a guy in a cave, and
Yeah.
he's like a middle-aged man working on like a PC in a cave.
Right.
It's a really weird setup.
Yeah.
And he basically asked them, do you want to play a game?
Would you like to play a game?
Which, you know, anyone asking you that ever with a bunch of kids is an immediate no. And then I think they all get on a scale or something. They all take turns. He measures them, and then, you know, whatever happens. And then suddenly they go outside, or it happens later on in that evening.
Yeah.
Because we get to know these characters a little bit. There's like, how many kids is there? 12?
It's like 12, 13.
Yeah.
Something like that,
Something
around
like
that many kids. And then they get teleported into this huge mech, and there's this scary floating head that's like talking to them, and one of the children has to pilot the mech. And now we're going to go into spoilers a little bit, but it's episode 1, so I'm going to spoil the premise a little bit to you. But so one of the kids pilots the mech, and they're fighting another mech, and it's to save the world that they're told before this floating head character. Very intimidating character. So they win the battle. Hooray, they all win, they all celebrate, and they go outside, they stand on the mech, and then one of the kids just drops dead and falls off the mech. Then they find out that each time this mech comes back and they're summoned, one of the kids has to pilot the mech, and when they do, they're going to die immediately after.
Yeah.
But it's to save the world.
Yeah. And what the real beauty of this show isn't really the mech battles or the mech fights. It's more of the fact that these kids who have to pilot the mech to save the world, it's basically kind of like a monster of the week kind of show, right? Where every week a new monster comes along, and another kid from that group has to pilot the mech. But it's about the backstory of each of the kids and just having to deal with the fact that they're gonna die.
Yeah,
they're just gonna die.
And in like really realistic ways as well. Like these characters are very believable.
It makes me like uncomfortable, even like thinking back to like the emotions it brought out in me.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like I get like very like, you know what I mean?
like-
It's a really, really brutally honest look into like the human condition and life, and especially how it's, you know, a lot of these kids from a lot of different backgrounds. Some of them have it easier. I remember there's one kid who's the stereotypical piece of shit. You know, his dad's spoiled,
Of
right?
course.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But there's some of the kids, you know, who I think there's one kid who's like 16 or whatever, and he's looking after his his two siblings.
Yeah.
And it's brutal because he's the one who's raising his two sisters, I think.
Yeah.
And it's horrible seeing him have to like come to terms with that he's not going to be able to look after his sister. It's really brutal.
It's something that just disturbs you on like a level that you can't really describe.
It's so raw. It's so realistic.
Yeah, yeah.
No filters
Yeah.
whatsoever.
And
on
like
it,
it's something that really was like not many people have watched. It's something that was really glossed
It's uncomfortable.
over.
It's really uncomfortable to have to like sit down and sit through.
I admit I definitely like did not watch it when it was first came out. Like I definitely gave it some time.
It's definitely not like, yo, you
Yeah.
watched the last episode. Like, it's
Hype, but like, because I think the problem with Bokurano and the reason why so many people didn't watch it when it came out is because the way that they marketed it was not that good, not that accurate. A lot of people are like, oh, it's a mecha. Must just be an Evangelion ripoff.
There's no world where it's like the #1 anime because it's just too uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also came out in the time period because I think it was like the early to mid 2000s.
It was, yeah.
Where there was just so many Evangelion ripoffs.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
And
right.
like they were of like varying quality as well. There's another show that I fucking love as well, which is Rasaphon. And that's
so good.
That's just an Evangelion ripoff.
I have no idea what that is.
It's an Evangelion ripoff, but it's still really good.
It's really good. It's
yeah.
like it totally rips off, but it
Yeah.
goes about it in a totally different way from Evangelion.
Yeah, yeah.
And Bokurano also sits in this category of just shows that people have really looked over because the premise alone sounds like an Evangelion ripoff.
It does.
But the way they go about it, it's just absolutely harrowing. Just seeing these stories of these kids who have to come to terms with their own mortality, because it's a fucking tragedy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it
It's
is.
different from Evangelion. Evangelion to me is just Anno's raw cry for help. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
like you can't watch like. Everyone's analyzed the last 2 episodes of Evangelion, and I think it's going back to that meme about the blue curtain. Right? I'm fucking sure that Anno had no fucking clue what he was doing.
Everyone's like, oh, okay, the way that these lines move and the way that it's like very sketchy is like really reflective on Shinji's like mental state. Meanwhile, Anno's just like, we didn't have much of a budget. just want to put that out there. Like,
because like but that's what I love about Evangelion, because everyone comes out of Evangelion with something different, because his message was so raw, and he put so much of himself into the series that it's impossible not to like come out with it feeling something.
I love
right?
how, like, with Evangelion especially, that I don't know if it's just Anno is just like trolling like crazy, but there were moments where like the Evangelion fan base and like the like super hardcore analysts
Yeah.
of Evangelion are like just so committed to this idea of like everything in Evangelion, every piece of imagery,
has to be-
everything has to have a meaning. That
Yeah.
I remember when Anno finally came out in an interview about like the meaning behind Evangelion, and he
Yeah.
just straight up said, there is no meaning. It's just a show I wanted to make. And people are like, well, what about like the fact that every time the angels die, it turns into a cross? And he's like, I just thought that looked cool. And all the analysts
how
were
it
like,
is, though.
no, he's lying.
Yeah.
There has to be a meaning behind it. I'm like, if the creator says there's no meaning, there's no meaning, bro.
What's Occam's razor, where the simplest solution?
The simplest solution is the best solution.
Is normally the actual solution.
Yeah.
And it's like Evangelion definitely made me uncomfortable and feel bad for a lot of the characters.
Yeah.
Like Bokurano just went
Yeah.
way
I mean,
deeper.
I'd say like Evangelion isn't from like a story
They're not even
structure
remotely
perspective.
similar.
It's not even remotely similar. Bokurano, like I feel like has more of a structure around its plots, where Evangelion just kind of ended on this, you know, as I said, raw cry for help from Anno.
Yeah.
But Bokurano was definitely here's a group of kids dealing with something that's very, very uncomfortable, and you're gonna feel fucking awful watching this
and
show.
like it's not even the worst part that like kids are gonna die. It's like
Yeah.
sometimes it's their fucking backstories are fucking horrific.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to spoil it because it's a really
Yeah.
good one. But there was one episode in particular, and it like after I finished it, it was one of those things where I had to like just sit there for like 5 minutes and be like, fuck, fuck. Like I don't know if you can remember all the episodes. There was
don't,
one or two
yeah.
plots that like one of the stories where I was just like, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It was right at the end as the episode. And you think that you expected everything, right?
yeah.
That's what I love though about these like human drama shows, is that like sometimes they may just be like the simplest thing of like just a story between 2 people or
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
person, but if it's done really fucking well, it can be some of the most powerful fucking storytelling ever.
I think
Yeah.
it's more relatable than at most things, and it's really uncomfortable to think that you could be in a situation where you've come to terms with your death. At such a
Well,
young
that's
age.
why. Well, that's why. Like, you know, I'll say this till the end of time, but like that's the whole reason why my favorite manga artist of all time is Inio Asano. Right?
I was gonna say like the one manga series that I'm still waiting on to be in the right headspace to read is Oyasumi Punpun.
Oyasumi Punpun.
Yeah, I need to
Yeah,
read
yeah.
that as well.
Yeah,
I've
because
downloaded
like
it.
I've read that, I've reread that like 2 or 3 times, like all the way
Yeah.
through, and every time I'm just like, oh no, like that's the only way. It's just oh no,
Yeah.
because it's just so like, and it's not just Punpun as well. Like Inio Asano is just so good at writing these characters that are just so believable.
Yeah.
And it's really disturbing when you see these characters, these very believable characters, run into these very believable and horrifying situations, and you're just like, if this isn't like based off like a real person's life, then that's just scary in and of itself,
can
because
think of
this
that.
guy can just think of stuff like this.
Yeah, yeah.
And present it in a way that is just so terrifying.
It's like when people are like, man, Danganronpa is really like despairful. And I'm like, please shut the fuck up. Like it's got pink blood for fuck's sake. Like real despair is like uncomfortable.
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Danganronpa's fucking uncomfortable. It pisses me. Sorry, I know that.
But
it's a good
my
game. It's a good game.
waifu died.
Yeah,
You probably
yeah.
pissed off so many Danganronpa fans with that now.
when you see these characters like they're about to die in Danganronpa, it's like who the fuck gives a shit? Like, I'm gonna,
Because I feel like there are certain levels. Because like everything that the series that we've talked about is just like it hits you. I don't want to say it, but like it hits different.
It do be hitting different.
okay, to a reason why you should watch this. If you're like me, I'm a person who avoids these kind of shows like The
Yeah.
Plague because I cry at like anything. I cry at like Deku when he says anything in My Hero Academia. When Deku screams even like a little bit, I'm like I'm in tears. I don't know why. It's like a human reaction. I'll cry at anything. So I normally just watch shows that I can turn my brain off to because I don't want to have to get into like oh fuck's sake.
I'm really
I'm
scared
feeling
now. I
things.
really just like want. Now that you've said that, I really want you to read like an Inio Asano.
No, I will. No, I know it's gonna ruin
'cause
me,
it's-
and that's
it's-
why like I stay away from it. But like, please watch Bokurano. You will
Yeah.
not regret it.
No, it's if you're in the right headspace for that kind of show, because like you know when you have like social barriers up and you see something that's sad or something, it's like yeah you feel sad, you cry, whatever. But there are some shows that you're like you don't know whether you want to cry or you.
just lie down.
Or just lie down and just like disappear.
Yeah, because there's plenty of romance shows that like have really left me kind of like very sad. But it's a different feeling. Like
It's a different feeling.
Golden Week made me very sad a lot of the time. Is that what it's called? Golden Week, right?
Golden Time.
Golden Time,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, Golden Time. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm an ape.
Yeah.
I like Golden Time a lot. It made me very sad. Very upset a lot of the time. But like, it's just like a. It's not. I don't leave that feeling like, oh man, there's no hope anymore.
I felt the same way when I watched Sakurasa as well, because like there are some, because like that seems like all like oh yeah cute kids in a room just romance stuff, but some of the backstories of some of these characters I'm just like fuck man. That's the only way I can describe it. It's just like fuck man,
Yeah.
like that's just sad, dude. But okay, as you said, it's not like it's sadness and despair are just two totally different emotions, right?
Because it's kind of like those kinds of shows where I use the it changed my life kind of which is really corny when you say it, but it's just one of those shows where you finish and you just sit down and you just like stare at a blank wall and you're like oh whoa
It's the
whoa.
big sigh, right?
It's
the big sigh.
Yeah, it's the big sigh. Just
You can't even like listen to the ending song. You're like, I can't listen to this. Shit. I need to be in silence right now. Like I remember being very sad and having a similar feeling watching BoJack Horseman, and it taps in the same areas. I know you're laughing because I did. By the way, last time we recorded this, I said an analogy where. Bokurano,
most amazing analogy.
Bokurano, right? To sum it up to you, if you're familiar with BoJack Horseman, Bokurano is imagine if BoJack Horseman had 12 kids and they were all equally as fucked up as BoJack Horseman. And then they all had to get sacrificed, and you slowly got to hear the backstory of these fucked up BoJack Horseman children. It's so fucked up, and it's like different because in BoJack it's his own fault, right? And it's all that and whatever. It's very sad. Okay, whatever. It's just it hits differently, like you said, and I hate it.
This episode of Trash Taste is sponsored by ExpressVPN.
Wow, we've changed shirts, Joey. How amazing. I'm here to tell you today about ExpressVPN. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, Connor, I use incognito mode. The FBI can't see me. And you'd be wrong in thinking that.
Wow, call me out like this, Connor.
I thought incognito mode saved me. Wrong. It doesn't save you. Only ExpressVPN can save you in your browsing history, as a lot of these websites can still see your browsing history, or your internet service provider can see what websites you're visiting because of your IP address. And honestly, that's why I never go online without ExpressVPN.
Also, the good thing about ExpressVPN is that you can bypass geo restrictions. So, say for example, I want to go onto Netflix and watch, I don't know, Harry Potter, but it's not available on Japanese Netflix. So what do? I tap on ExpressVPN, I reroute it to the US Netflix, and boom, there it is, all of Harry Potter. Because sometimes I don't want to watch anime, I want to watch some goddamn Harry Potter.
Good thing is, it doesn't matter if you're on Verizon or Comcast or whatever ISP you're on, ExpressVPN will hide all the information and all the traffic that routes through your router from them. So even the ISPs can't see your browsing history. And the thing is, it runs so smoothly that most of the time you don't even realize that you have ExpressVPN on.
And the best thing is ExpressVPN is available on all devices. Of course, the computer, mobile phones, tablets, you name it. So you can protect your online internet safety today by using the #1 rated VPN service out there by going to expressvpn.com/trashtaste to get 3 months free off of your subscription.
That's expressvpn.com/trashtaste. Yes, I'm reading this from my phone just in case I get the spelling wrong.
expressvpn.com/trashtaste to learn more. Links in the description.
Because I think one other series that I watched that just hit like really deep is this like 4-episode OVA based on this novel called No Longer Human, which is like a classic Japanese novel. I think.
Osamu.
Yeah. That is like probably one of the most harrowing things that I've watched.
Never heard about it. What is it about?
It's written by this guy called Dazai Osamu, who is considered like one of the 3 greats in traditional Japanese literature. He was like a guy from
The big 3.
So,
He was the big 3.
so what's the story behind this one?
It's been a while since I watched it, but I'm not sure if it's his like autobiography or if it's like based on his life story. But it's just
based on his life story.
okay. So it's just based on this life story about this guy who just keeps taking L's, man. Like imagine if you just take L's your entire life and you're just looking for that one win, but no, you just keep taking L's your entire life, and no, but it's this guy who just gets more and more depressed as his life goes on because it is based on his life story. So like this character, it's someone who's like clinically depressed, right? And he's so depressed that he tries taking his life multiple times, right? With women that he's been with or just perfectly fine, and then he just keeps living, which is actually true. Like the author tried committing suicide several times. And then he succeeded. He actually succeeded. So
he drowned himself.
Yeah. So that's like the headspace of the author who wrote this, and like it's the story.
Wait,
like
so
I can't.
Wait, so he died?
Yeah. He finished after finishing this story.
After he finished, this was the last novel he wrote before he drowned himself.
Yeah. So it's just fucking. It's the most like.
That's like one long suicide note. Then,
Yeah. Because it's just like a raw peek into the headspace of someone.
This is our most depressing episode. I'm sorry.
It's really good though.
Yeah.
It's a really good piece of literature.
Yeah, because like it's just this. It's just based on his life story and just all the shitty things that happens to him, and then it ends with just you think he's found like this ray of hope, right? You think he's found his ray of hope, and then he just gets shit on once again. Like imagine if someone has stage 4 leukemia. And then you just find out he has AIDS as well, and then he gets kicked on, and then you just kick him while
it just keeps going, yeah.
And like how it ends is that he's so like he doesn't even think that like if he commits suicide, that's not even the right way to end it. It's called No Longer Human because he feels like he's so low that he just doesn't. He's no longer human. Like he no longer is in this human world, and it is the most harrowing thing. I've used harrowing a lot because I don't know.
It's the only way to describe.
I don't know.
I mean, because you're essentially reading the full, right? Like
Yeah.
Reading the.
Pretty much.
Man, that's not bad.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Is the only way to describe it.
I mean, I I like those experiences, but they are, like you said earlier, you have to be in the right headspace. Because I feel like if you go into it like already like pretty fucked up, like you're not feeling too good.
Yeah.
It's not going to do great for your mental health.
I think I think the one problem as well with No Longer Human, and the reason why probably not a lot of people like know about it, is that not just because of its like subject matter, but just the fact that anime fans today know Dazai Osamu for that one Bungo Stray Dogs character. You know?
That's true, isn't it?
Yeah, but like, and people are like, oh, Dazai, yeah, he was my husbando in Bungo Stray Dogs, not knowing that the real Dazai was the most depressed fucking author in like probably all of Japanese literature, and he wrote some, not just No Longer Human, but he wrote some amazing pieces of literature. Just because, again, he based it so much on his real life and the fact that he was just fucking depressed as hell.
Because like I feel like you have to be in that headspace to write something that powerful, and just that raw, that just hits and just cuts that deeply.
It's like an Edgar Allan Poe situation.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
right.
you can't write dark poetry like that unless you had a fucked up life growing up. So.
Yeah, I feel spoiled, you know. I don't have anything to worry about.
Sorry to bring a downer of this episode. People watched less.
But bottom line is that, you know, regardless of the fact that we did like talk about a lot of like depressing pieces of literature and media, like just because it like puts you down at the end of the day, it doesn't mean it's something that people should skip over. I think that it's equally as important to experience those kinds of anime and literature.
I like to do that so that I'm comfortable with having those emotions pop up sometimes.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
That I feel like I have at least some experience dealing with them. Maybe when it's someone else, it's a lot easier. But if you do get to that point where you are starting to feel like that, it's like, okay, I can kind of understand where this is coming from.
Yeah.
Maybe I know better how to process it.
Yeah, like, question to you guys, going off this then, but it's a bit less depressing. Has there been any shows or any anime in your history that has like affected you in any way? Not just like in the negative aspect, obviously, or just rethinking life, but just like
Black Butler.
You definitely had to rethink life after that one. I think for me, like, the one, as much as I hate to use the word change my life, for me was like, and this is going to sound cliche as fuck, but Clannad was one of those. It was. I know. I totally understand where that laughter comes from. I'm sure there was a handful of people who laughed at the same time, right? Because it's so cliche now to say that Clannad changed your life. But when I watched that, like, all the way through, it, like, straight up, because that was
the story fucked me out.
That was the first time that I, like, in not just in anime, but in any piece of media that I just fucking broke down crying. Because especially that second half of Clannad After Story was just the most brutal payoff to the longest build up, right? And just, I don't think I'll be able to, that's again, like going back like million topics, that's another show I don't think I'll be able to watch again. Just because, again, I'm not in that headspace. And it's just something, it's not just like the fact that it was just a sad anime, but I think it's just the fact that, again, you've been kind of following these characters' lives all the way through, whereas like most, you know, visual novels or like romance stories would end with the couple getting together. Clannad took that one step further and showed you, as the title says, the after story, right? Of like what happens. And I think just seeing that made these characters even more relatable to me. And that was the first time where I was like, you know what? Family is cool, man. Like, family's fucking dope. Like, before that, family was just like a thing
Mr. Christian man.
It was like because before, like, you know, the concept of like family was just very much like everybody else, where it's like, yeah, of course, family's cool. Like, yeah, everyone wants a family. But like, Clannad was that one show that really dug into like just how important family is. And I think that, like, I mean, as weird as it is to say, after I watched Clannad, I became way closer to my family. And I think that's like a big aspect.
Pretty wholesome.
It is wholesome, and then, like, and that like really changed my life.
I feel really bad now because you're talking about how Clannad changed your life. I couldn't fucking finish the first season.
Yeah, I know.
To be
That's
fair,
the problem, though, right?
I watched Clannad and After Story,
Yeah.
and I think the whole time when I was watching Clannad, I'm like, when's it gonna get good?
Yeah.
When? Don't fucking sing that Dango song one more time, bitch. I dare you to sing that song one more time.
Because like I remember watching the first 8 episodes, and I'm just like, man, this is trying really hard. This is trying really
fucking
hard.
boring.
Yeah, but that's the problem, right? Is that like the thing with the first season of Clannad, I never say to people, "Hey, you should watch the first season of Clannad," because I know that on the grand scale of things, The first season's fucking
But
boring.
you can't appreciate the second season.
That's the
without-
problem. You can't jump into After Story without having experienced these characters.
Yeah.
And it is important because a lot of these characters do make a very significant impact in After Story.
But I guess, you know, it's really hard. I guess especially now. Like maybe back then you could make someone watch 25 episodes.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
bullshit to get a good payoff. But now you can't do that. Like
No.
No,
I just don't think you can recommend it anymore.
Right, because like the story structure and the joke structures that pop in, it's just so overdone now that like it just seems like an aged version of everything that you can see today. But back when Clanad first came out, like 2009, I believe.
Yeah, it was about 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
I think I watched it after I watched Haru Suzumiya the first season. And I remember thinking, like, this is just like shittier. like the school dynamic was just garbage. And I remember being
Do you
like,
just watch every high school anime and just like, yeah, it's in high school.
Yeah.
It's the same
It
show.
must be
It's
good,
it's
right?
the same
no,
show.
no, I like to compare the high school animes and see what like dynamics they got going on and see what I'm enjoying.
Their uniform is different to the
Yeah.
one before.
This one was a model in their school? Okay.
Like going off topic. Like I remember the first time I watched Seraph of the End. And I remember it was like a show with a post-apocalyptic show about like how vampires had taken over the world. And then for like 4 episodes in, there's just a fucking high school. And I'm like, why is there a high school? If there's one show that doesn't need a high school dynamic, it's fucking this show.
I'm like guilty because like I'm like the only guy I think has read like all of that manga so far. Like it's still.
Oh, I'm the complete opposite guilty. I never consumed anything about it. Which is so weird because for the longest time, I don't know if you guys got these messages. So many people were asking me to make a video on Seraph of the
It's
End.
got a really big female following.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
have
it
you
does.
noticed? I don't think there's been a single anime that's made a video on it.
Because they're all dudes. I mean,
not even like the few females we have in the anime
the
community. have made
first
it.
episode of Seraph the End was like
Yeah.
one of like the best first episodes. Of, like,
Yeah.
I remember for a while that we had. It was such a good first episode. I mean, yeah.
No, it was
then they're like,
really good.
world ending, wars. And then, yeah, like you said, high school. And then it's like, it gets really good again when they leave high school. Because they
No,
quickly,
it does.
They quickly abandon that, and I'd like to think that's the artist, the author being like, yeah, this is like
Shit, go back.
yeah. It got really good, and I'd say we're like about 2/3 through the manga because it hasn't finished yet, but about 2/3 through the manga where it is right now, it gets amazing.
Yeah.
And then it goes like not so good.
Yeah, because did the manga deviate from the anime? Because I remember watching all of the anime, and it was one of those shows where I had a good time watching it.
If I remember correctly, the manga was really, really similar to the show.
Right.
And they build on a lot of the things that I thought were really interesting in the show amazingly in the manga as it goes on.
Yeah.
But then it became really weird and world-ending plot kind of like trigger-y.
Right.
It's I don't really like the main like the final villain that they have as
Yeah.
well. Like it's just a fine. It's fine.
It's
Right.
it's one of those
fine.
shows where I'm like, I had a good time watching it. I'm not gonna rewatch it. I'm probably not gonna remember most.
Would
of the
you
stuff that happens.
recommend people to read it or watch it? Because I haven't done either.
if you, I would say, watch it, and if you like what you watched, then continue onwards.
Okay.
You'll probably enjoy it. I think
Yeah.
up to a certain point, and then you'll start to be like confused and. It's good though. It's good. I like how they did a lot of things. And like, it sounds like the most Trump sentence ever. I like how they did things. They did a lot of good things.
It means a lot to me.
It did things. I like the things they did.
No, I totally get it though, because I actually agree with you. Like, it was good. I had a good time.
It's like the most 6 out of 10 ever. It's like it's very decent, and I have minimal complaints.
Yeah.
There's not much to it, and you're just kind of like, I'm happy with what happened, and I
Yeah.
don't want any more.
It was before I had like 5 isekai to watch every season, and this just took the space of that. Where
This came right after the hype of season 1 of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, yeah, it
right?
did.
And I remember everyone was hype as fuck for this anime.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like fell off. Even though I thought the
Yeah.
anime was pretty fucking hype.
yeah, it just didn't take off, and I don't know why.
That's the
It's
thing,
weird
right?
as well because the anime had like an amazing like fight scene. It like
Yeah.
like an orchestrated like fight, like they were hunting down these vampires. Really
Yeah.
cool episode. And for some reason that wasn't enough.
It's
hype.
one of those shows that weirdly, like, I hear so
People
many
still
people
talk about it.
talk about, but
I don't really see anything about. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Because I think people who read it are really, really into it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. There's a lot to like.
I think the problem with it is that it just kind of lacked its own identity when it first aired. Because I remember when it first aired, I think like I made a joke that it was like, oh, it's like Attack on Blue Exorcist with gay vampires or something.
It very
along those
much
lines.
is like an amalgamation of a lot of different aspects.
Right,
Yeah.
And the main character is kind of annoying.
Yeah,
Which
that's true as well.
Well, that's never a good sign.
It's annoying because it's like I like all of this, but we're getting a lot of this one thing that I'm just kind of wish would just be a little less like potent, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shows like that though where
Yeah.
I've read the manga after it and no one really spoke about it, and I was like, I don't really know.
Like a certain Black Clover.
Black Clover. I didn't read.
Hey
Black Clover.
man, Black Clover is good. I'm repping Black Clover,
Shit, I shouldn't
man.
have said that now. He's gonna go off for like 40 minutes about it.
My monkey brain's like taking over now. Black Clover, Black Clover.
For some reason, I always end up reading the manga that no one fucking talks about or gives a shit about, and I don't know why. I think because I don't know anything, I find it more interesting because no one talks
I'm
about it.
definitely in that phase right now.
Yeah,
where I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
like,
Like-
I just want to find the weirdest fucking like unknown manga and just like talk about it.
I know it's not unknown at all, but I read Terraformers just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like no one speaks about it, and I remember liking what I saw of the anime, which is funny
Yeah.
because the anime adaptation was
horrible.
garbage.
Horrible.
But I remember enjoying the concept, so I
Yeah.
went back and read all of it, and I had a fucking great time.
Yeah,
It
Terraformers is
was
awesome.
amazing. You should definitely read it if you get the chance. Super gory, terrifying cockroaches.
Yeah.
Great time.
Really good.
If you've seen the thumbnail that Connor has made about his cockroach story, that's a terraformer cockroach.
Yeah, let me give you like a 30-second pitch, right, on Terraformers. So there's an expedition to Mars, and there's these cockroaches that are like absolute Giga Chad cockroaches, like the most like gym bro cockroaches,
Yeah.
and then they want to bring them back to Earth to see why they're like this.
Yeah.
Who made these cockroaches like this? Because there must be some reason.
Why are they so Chad?
And then it turns out that these guys can fight, and then the humans get injected with bug DNA, insect DNA to become superhumans, but then they still keep getting destroyed by the Giga Chad cockroaches. And it's just a great war. It's a great time. Lots
Yeah.
of politics, lots of Game of Thrones politics-esque things involved.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Lots of deaths.
Yeah, it's great because you would think that a really straightforward plot where it's about action, big cockroach fight big bug boy.
Yeah.
But then it really quickly, because for the
That's such a perfect way to describe bug boy. Oh, you big bug boy.
because you'll never feel as excited for learning one bug. Like, because I remember thinking when I was in like high school, the mantis shrimp, coolest bug in the world. Do you know what a mantis shrimp is?
Is that a
Yeah,
bug?
is that the one that like punches?
It can punch at like the speed of sound.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
it punches so hard that it can't be contained in aquariums.
I remember that
But
chapter.
this thing is like tiny,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then when they made like a human formed with a mantis shrimp, I was like, bro, I know what that is. And then he was OP. He was pretty strong.
yeah.
But I've got off topic. But because I remember you read like 80 chapters of this thing, thinking that it's just gonna be like big man punch bug man, like, and like that's fine because you're down for it. Then it quickly turns into like, but wait, if Earth was trying to take over Mars and get these samples, there would be a lot of fucked up politics involved with which
Yeah.
country is going to want
Yeah,
what.
yeah.
And so it divulges into a lot of that. It's really fucking
Yeah,
interesting.
the world building's done really fucking
It's
well.
super fucking good. I
Yeah.
really recommend it. Sorry, that turned from a 30-second pitch into a whole discussion, but it's a great manga. And if you like something like Gantz, something like that, you'll probably feel right at home for you.
Yeah, I think I read it just after I read Gantz because I was looking for something
It's
very.
perfect for that kind of like,
I was in like that edgy teenager phase.
It
when I
is
just
literally edgy. I was literally living my edgy teenager phase like 6 months ago. I read
Yeah.
Gantz, I read Terraformers, like it was. I don't know why.
sometimes the edgy teenager phase, like you never grow out of it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Sometimes I fucking love going back to my edgy teenager phase because I really want to reread Gantz as well. Gantz is fucking great. That's like that defined what I was into as like a late teen.
Yeah.
It's so good, Gantz.
It's like aliens,
there's-
sexy girls, gore.
Yeah.
Sign me
Dude,
up,
when
baby.
he starts just like, okay, there's a scene in Gantz, and like, I guess because you're used to the normal dynamics in anime,
Yeah.
where they're like, oh, a hot girl turns up and he wants to have sex with her. But then he actually just starts fucking her.
Yeah,
in
he
the
just
hallway.
starts fucking her. I'm like, who is this Chad? Like, I've never seen such a big Chad in anime before. What the fuck?
I was on the train reading this as well. It was a terrible manga to read on the train
Yeah.
because every time I'd flick the panel, it would just be naked tits and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I'm like,
And that sex scene in the manga is so
It's
long.
so
It's so long.
it's so weird that it's like not even remotely like a realistic depiction of sex. It's so weird because then suddenly she's obsessed with him after it. It's so
Yeah.
fucking dumb.
Yeah.
But the one thing that's amazing about Gantz, and I would like to sell people on, is one, the monster drawings and the level of detail.
Because this is why you
insane.
do not want to watch the
not
anime
watch
at
it.
all.
Please don't watch
Because
it.
Gantz is like peak mid 2000 Gonzo CG.
Yeah.
Like it's like you think
Awful.
CG
It's
today
hilarious.
is bad. Watch Gantz and you just see how bad CG was back then.
Yeah. There's
I
so many.
just remember
drawings.
the absolutely just messed up CG of like even the opening, where it's just like, let's see how many times we can rotate this camera and just
Hopefully-
make everybody sick.
Hopefully we have it on screen right now so you can see.
Oh,
it.
yeah. It was a
the-
good song.
The opening was a fucking banger.
Oh,
though.
that song was so
Yeah,
good. Like,
Rip Slime, man.
Rip Slime, but like
fucking
every
great.
time I watched it, I was like, I'm about to throw up. Like it's so dizzying.
If you enjoyed the good parts of Darling in the Franxx, like the mystery and not knowing anything about the world and wondering, like, oh my god, how does this all function?
Yeah.
If you like that aspect of world building, you'll love Gantz.
Yeah, I was really impressed by the world building in Gantz because not to spoil how it ends, but like the actual ending of Gantz itself was like very, very anticlimactic.
Questionable.
But the actual answers was like that kind of was like that was kind of like that, you know, that big brain like
Yeah,
meme
yeah.
that was like oh my god, like it's fucking great. Like it's
Yeah.
one of the few series that I've seen that has built up this huge mystery and has delivered on it, you know what I mean, and has delivered on an answer that like
I'd say
it's satisfying.
The actual ending is not great, but the answers for the main mysteries were very satisfying. So
Yeah.
it doesn't end amazingly,
Yeah.
but the explanation for all the stuff that was happening is very cool.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really interesting. But there's also some stuff in the manga that did not age well.
Well, like what?
Well, I don't.
Oh, you don't wanna say?
Yeah, everyone who's read it will know what I mean.
Yeah.
But there's a part where like a character does blackface and suddenly it like turns
Oh my god, I completely forgot.
like there's
Oh.
so.
I haven't read it in so long. I
There's
genuinely
like,
don't
because
remember.
I
Oh
read it
my
like
God.
6 months ago, and there's like a scene where one of the characters goes to shoot up a thing in public. He goes to do a public shooting.
That's
Yeah.
that. Oh my.
And
Now that
it's
like
really
that's
bad.
that. Oh, that is the most
It
yikes.
is awful.
That's the most yikes moments
Because-
I've ever thought.
Please don't cancel Okuhiroya, please. All right.
Because it's like it's a normal Japanese guy, and then he wears blackface, but then he just is drawn like an actual black guy.
Yeah.
And it's really, really uncomfortable
Right.
to
Yeah,
read
yeah.
because you're like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
And then that was the moment where I went online to be like, has anyone else realized how fucked up? And then immediately everyone was like, it's good, but
We kind of turn a blind eye on it.
It's
yeah.
the one thing that makes it really hard to recommend because
Yeah.
it's a very interesting series that does a lot of cool things, but then it's really, really like that part is like you kind of wish that wasn't there because then
Yeah.
you could recommend it to edge people.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just too much.
I mean, it's just like a example of something that hasn't aged well. Because when I read that as a kid, I
There's a lot of nuance that is lost in Japanese culture
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But it's still, even for Japanese standards, is pretty good.
It was, yeah.
It's-
Like when Gantz was like serializing, it was very like lopsided in terms of like, is this
And you know,
okay or is this not okay?
You know, the Japanese audience is concerned with it being racist. but
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. It's definitely the one giant stain on like Gantz in general.
I think so. Other than the 3D CG.
That's a pretty damn. I mean, that's just the stain.
Yeah, that's just like the shit stain on the
And they had a
underwear,
live
right?
action movie, didn't they?
yeah.
Yeah, but the live action was not as horrible as a lot of people thought it was going to be. Because I watched the live action, and I was like, you know what? It wasn't amazing. Like solid 5 out of 10, but there was definitely a lot of like questionable CG about it because, of course, Japanese live action, right? But the way that they actually like did the whole dance thing and the whole feel of it, the whole like despair of like, oh shit, this world we don't know what the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
They did that really well in the live action.
What do you think is like the best live action anime movie? Because that's hard. Because it's
Oh.
like,
I want to
which
say,
one do you
I
have to
know
sift through?
which one it is.
I honestly,
Which one is for you?
Gintama.
Oh yeah.
I'm not familiar with Gintama.
The
so
Gintama
confusing.
live action, I've never laughed that hard watching a live action. And like, not even like, I'm not talking about like Dragon Ball Evolution, like ironic laughing. Like, it's genuinely
Funny.
It brings out the Gintama spirit so fucking well. And
I don't know how the hell they did it, because you read a manga like Gintama or watch an anime like Gintama and you're like, there's no way this can be live action.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no fucking way. Like, you can't translate this comedy into live action. But they somehow
The
did
Mad
it.
Lads did it.
I'm like, the casting was perfect. The costumes
I'll take
were
your word
perfect.
for it, because I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Even the action scenes, because the second half of it goes into like the first story arc of Gintama.
Yeah.
And concludes it. And I'm like, wow, this is actually like really good CG and really good choreography. And it's like very believable Gintama movie. Like, I would watch that again. That's how good it is.
I was pleasantly surprised with the JoJo Part 4 movie.
Really?
It was like,
I didn't like it.
Really?
it was like fine.
I didn't
I
like
thought
it.
some of the scenes they did pretty good.
I mean, that's the thing with live action anime movies, right? The bar is so low that just
Yeah, like,
simply-
is it good
simply being
compared to all
fine.
these other shit,
Being-
or is it
being-
just like
yeah.
genuinely
Being
good?
passable is like the best compliment
Yeah.
you can give an anime live action.
Because
Right,
I remember watching the Ghost in the Shell live action, and I remember how offensively average it was.
Yeah.
Like, it was like I couldn't form an opinion on it because I'm just like, it's okay.
It's like the Ghost in the Shell one was really weird, because it's like, if you watched it as a Ghost in the Shell live action, it was like a 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
But if you just watched it as like, if you just thought like, okay, this is just a standalone like sci-fi.
complex.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Con.
Big brain references.
You know what? I watched Alita the Battle Angel was like really good. And you totally
Yeah.
forget that's a
Did
manga.
you think it was good?
I thought it was pretty
I
good.
thought it was kind of
I,
shit.
I think that's one of the best like anime or manga movies we've had.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it
what
was.
is-
It
like,
the ending
what?
was just whack, man.
Yeah, but
like-
I mean, everything up until the ending was
for me,
was really good.
Alita was very much like Ghost in the Shell. Whereas like as a
No, I put it higher than Ghost in the Shell.
It was
because
higher than
have you-
Ghost in the Shell.
Have you read Alita?
No, who the fuck has read
I
it?
have.
Yeah, Joey's
That's
read
why
it.
I watched the
Joey's
movie.
read everything though.
That's why I've watched the movie. If you-
I bet if I watched the manga, I'd like it.
Yeah, very much like
More.
Ghost in the Shell.
Watch
If-
the manga.
Well, sorry, I bet if I read the manga, I'd appreciate.
Yeah.
I'd like the manga more.
If you've, it's like Ghost in the Shell, right? Like, people who are fans of Ghost in the Shell before they watched live action were like, that was a shit adaptation of Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
Alita's the exact same.
I guess
It's
so.
good as a standalone movie, but as an adaptation of Alita, it was pretty weak.
But at least the Hollywood ones are better than the Japanese adaptation.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you watch the Attack on Titan?
Yeah.
live action?
Yeah, oh my god.
What's with them being like Nazis? What's with that? What's
I got invited by Madman in Australia
no.
to
Okay.
go to the cinemas on the day, like the premiere
Oh
day.
no.
And they were like, you can bring a +1. So I brought my best friend,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
who's
Yeah.
like a huge anime fan, and we watched it. And we just kind of sat there as the credits were rolling, and I just looked over and I'm like, how was that? And my friend's like, I know you got me in for free, but I want my money back. That's what he said. He's like, I'm like, you know what? I kind of have to agree with you there, man. Like,
No, because I like my cousin, who I've been trying to get into anime for like ages, biggest normie you can kind of think of, and then I was like,
Breaking Bad.
like I was like recommending Attack on Titan because that's like one of the perfect gateway.
Yeah,
anime.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
Attack on
of course.
Titan, and then he fucking ends up watching the Attack on Titan live action, and he is like. Yeah, that wasn't very good. I'm like,
Why?
God damn,
Why?
You were almost there. You were this close. And now, whenever I recommend Attack on Titan, I'm like, no, trust me, the anime is so much better. He's like, but like, is it the same story? But like, you don't get it.
you might
Just-
not know, but there's this character called Levi. He wasn't in the live action because they couldn't pronounce his name.
People-
You know that's the reason why they cut him out, right?
Oh, really?
The reason why Levi's not in the live action is because they were like, these are Japanese actors. I don't think they can pronounce the V sound. And I'm like, you do realize this was written by a Japanese
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah, people like that are the reason why microwaves come with instructions. That's like you
They need a hand to hold for everything.
yeah, like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
my god, you watched the fucking movie? Oh my god. Like,
How'd you fuck up this
how did you
badly?
fuck this up? Like, man. Yeah, I kind of just stay away from the movies, though. I stay
Yeah.
away from all anime movies.
I think the only one
know I
I've
shouldn't.
enjoyed is Edge of Tomorrow, which I didn't
That
even.
one was really good.
I
Tom
didn't.
Hanks? With
Tom Hanks. Tom Cruise.
fucking Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise.
I wish
Yeah,
Tom Hanks
If it
was
was
in that.
Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks, I would have.
Yeah, I didn't realize because I didn't even realize that was based on a manga.
Yeah, it's All You Need Is Kill.
Which is like the edgiest title ever.
Yeah.
All you need is kill.
All You Need
coming
Is
to
Kill.
you next summer.
It's actually based off a novel that was
Yeah,
then
yeah,
later
yeah, I
adapted
heard
into
that.
a manga that was written by Obata Takeshi, who's
Ah.
the illustrator for Death Note.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
which is also a very good manga. So when I saw, because like I picked up the novel while I was in Japan, because I was just like, all you need is kill? Fuck yeah, dude, that sounds awesome. And I read it, and the novel was really good.
Yeah.
But then, like when they were promoting in the bookstore, they were like, Tom Cruise movie coming out soon. I was just like,
Oh no. Oh, don't do
It's
this.
gonna be one of
please, please, Tom, don't do this. But of course, I had to go watch it because I'm like, all right, this is probably gonna be shit. Let's go
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
all right, you know what?
It was good.
I'll give you this one,
It
Hollywood.
was good.
You
It was
did good. You did good.
It was one of the few films that I watched it, and I was like, oh, I got to go read the source material now. 'cause
Yeah,
I want to, and it was quite different from the source material. It wasn't exactly the same, but that's how you adapt a live action movie, in my opinion. You got to change some things.
If there is something that is just, if there's a concept in a story that you know will never work in live action, don't put it in.
Yeah.
It's so simple. And yet there are so many fucking productions and directors who are like, no, we can do it. No, we can definitely. Assassination Classroom, giant yellow guy. Fucking man.
Yeah, that was
CG will fix that.
That was a weird adaptation.
I don't know why, but I've slowly started to find myself like watching live action anime movies.
Why?
It's just like,
Why would you do this to yourself?
because it's just
You're
like,
gonna give me shit for watching trashy isekai.
it's just a guilty pleasure for me now. Even if it's because I watched the Erased live action as well, and even though I didn't like Erased, but
That was on Netflix, right?
yeah, but purely just because I was like, it's the perfect example of curiosity killed the cat, right? Because it's like I'm so curious to be like, how could they possibly adapt this? And then I go into it, I'm like, amazing. I just wasted an hour and a half
Yeah,
of my
but
life.
if you that's just some anime adaptations. You just know that'll be shit.
Yeah.
There's some you watch for the train wreck, but not
Yeah.
all of them. Like Erased, you don't need to watch. The Full Metal Alchemist live action, I don't need to watch that to know it's gonna be shit.
Yeah, that's the one thing I still haven't watched.
No, you know what I'm gonna do?
The Death Note one. Is,
I'm just
watch the
I'm just gonna watch a live action movie now.
And you'll be like, guys, Fullmetal Alchemist isn't that good.
What the fuck are you talking? It sucks. Fullmetal Alchemist sucks. What are you guys on?
Please do that.
no,
Please
please
do
don't.
that.
Please don't. You'll actually ruin the story for yourself. You'll get a speed run story, and it'll like. It's just awful. I mean, the only reason I watched the Death Note one is because, you know, I wanted to be, you know, able to help with the discussion on Twitter and then. You know,
Oh yeah,
and clown
yeah.
on
I
it.
mean, I got a great video out of it.
Right,
so.
but if you can't, yeah, exactly, right. You can clown on it. It's great because everyone's going to be waiting for it. But
Yeah.
you can't clown the Erased one because no one gives a fuck.
well, that's why I didn't make a video on it.
no, I'd be like, why watch it? Why waste an hour and a half? Why?
I mean, I've done that with more. I think there are more anime live actions that I haven't made a video on than ones that I have made a video on. Just because no one needs to know this is shit. I just need to know this is shit. I don't need to share this because everybody already knows it's shit. Like, I didn't have to make a video on the Parasite live action because everybody knew it was going to be shit, but I needed to know that it was going to be shit. And sure enough, I found out that it was absolutely garbage.
You know what blows my mind? That sometimes they only make the anime to promote the garbage movie.
Yeah.
Like, was Parasite one of those situations? I know Kaiji, the gambler one.
Yeah.
That was definitely, that anime was just made to promote the movie.
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
it?
yeah. It was.
Yeah, and the movie was,
The movie was
I mean-
questionable.
I mean, I actually I enjoyed the Kaiji movie in this like really campy kind of way. You know what I mean? It's kind of
but in what world would you choose the movie over the anime?
Oh no, absolutely not.
No, no.
Oh,
absolutely
right,
not.
right.
Because like watching the Kaiji live action was kind of just watching like some K drama or J drama.
So, do you want to explain what Kaiji is quickly to the
Yeah,
audience?
so it's a gambling it's a gambling story. So this guy racks up this massive debt. I forgot why he racked up this massive debts.
I can't remember why he did it.
For some reason.
Yeah. So basically he gets an offer from this like mysterious company that can clear his debt that just says you need to go on this ship and you're going to play a bunch of games and if you win these games then we will clear your debts. Or you can go into even greater debts. you know?
Yeah.
And the basic premise is just Kaiji on this ship, or just like after the ship arc's over, it's just him going through a bunch of different gambling games and just trying to clear his debts.
And he's not OP, so that's like the best part. Is
Yeah.
that you genuinely he loses a lot.
It's
Yeah.
He
very
loses as much as he
realistic,
wins, and it's great because you genuinely don't know if he's going to lose or win. Every
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
It's a very quotable
Yeah.
show.
It's
as well.
really. A lot of people didn't watch it. I think mainly because for some reason it was only published in 480p.
Really?
Do you remember?
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
It was only published
The
in
anime?
480p. Yeah,
And it came out in 2007 as well.
and it was
weird.
only 480p. And I remember like when I was watching it, I'm like, where's the Where's the HD?
What's this
But,
SD
like,
bullshit?
so just know that when you watch it, it's going to be like that, but it's definitely worth your time.
I thought the reason why people didn't watch Kaiju was because of the art style.
I think it's that, and I think there's a ton of reasons why people didn't
Because
watch
like
it.
it's got like 0 female characters in it. I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember a single
It's
female
got a
character.
lot of ugly bastards in it. I know that. That is the one show that has
it's
more ugly
like-
bastards than hentai.
That's Kaiji, right? Imagine an NTR plot, but instead of sex, it's just watching a guy.
gambling.
It's just gambling. It's just NTR gambling. That's just Kaiji, okay? But it's fucking great.
It's so good. It's like I going from watching Kaiji to I don't know how you pronounce it, Kakaguru.
Kakiguru, yeah.
Kakaguru.
It was like, how can I watch this shit when this gambling is so fake? Like,
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's all just bullshit gambling to serve the plot.
It's just
Whereas
a-
in Kaiji, it felt like real gambling.
Yeah, Kakiguru was just like they were like, okay, how do we make these hot girls orgasm?
Yeah.
Gambling. Let's just throw it in.
But like the main character always wins unless it doesn't really matter, then she doesn't win, and it's like, haha, you didn't expect that. And it's like, yeah, but it didn't matter. Like,
yeah, exactly.
it's like there was a one dumb moment. There's the part I dropped the series is
Yeah.
when the girl with the gun playing Russian roulette, and it's like it's obvious no one is going to die in this situation. Don't pretend like someone is going to die because I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't watch it further because I'm like, this is just dumb.
Whereas if that was in Kaiji, like
It's like someone's gonna die.
Someone's gonna die.
Yeah, which is great because, but then it wasn't sure. Maybe both of them could die. We don't know.
Yeah.
That's the best part about Kaiji is that like you just genuinely don't know.
no, the best
No.
part of Kaiji is the narrator's voice.
Oh, that's
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, no.
Why is there just that narrator in like every fucking show of that type?
Because
you know
it's
what I
so
mean?
epic. I love
Because
it.
I only see it in anime. You know, you're not watching this Netflix show and then this narrator comes out. You know what I mean?
Dude, what's the follow-up series, the spin-off one with the middle management, whatever, Tonegawa?
Oh yeah,
Oh, I never
Tonegawa,
watched that
yeah,
one. Was it any good?
It's quite funny. It's if you go in expecting Kaiji, you're going to be very disappointed.
Yeah.
If you want Kaiji, then it's better if you read like I don't know the author's name, but like read some of his other works.
Akagi is really good.
Akagi, I really like Akagi is basically Mahjong Kaiji.
Yeah.
And like, here's the thing. I had no fucking interest in Mahjong.
Yeah.
I was watching the show. I had no fucking I had no fucking clue of the rules
Yeah.
of Mahjong either.
Yeah,
but you get drawn in,
but
right?
after I finished Akagi, I was like, man, maybe I should learn how to play
Yeah,
Mahjong.
I had
fun.
I
Yeah,
had the
yeah.
exact same thing. I don't know which show it was. It was little girls competing in mahjong tournaments. I don't know which. I think it was might have just been called mahjong. Like,
No,
yeah.
maybe.
okay.
I don't know, yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I remember I was trying my goddamn best to learn mahjong, and I was like, what
There are a
the
lot of shows
fuck?
like
Yeah,
that. But, I mean, like, you know, March Comes In Like a Lion made me really invested in shogi. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck shogi is. But then after I watched March Comes In Like a Lion,
I
I'm
want
like,
to learn shogi so
man, I
badly.
kind of want to learn shogi. I mean, shogi is just Japanese chess, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm good
yeah.
at chess, so I
Yeah.
want to be good at that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to play chess. And
What?
yet I was like,
What?
shogi looks
What?
fun.
How do you know how to play chess, Joey?
Because I just did it.
Wow.
We didn't even own like a chessboard in my house.
You know how to play chess, right?
Yeah, I know the basics.
That's good.
I fucking suck at it.
We
Probably.
need a
I
ch-
haven't played in years.
We need a chess anime, but obviously because
No, because I actually really want a chess anime. Because
chess would be so good in an anime.
it would be so fucking hype in anime.
I'm surprised there hasn't been one yet.
It's because like how big is chess in Japan? It's not very big.
I mean, I guess if you're going to play chess, you might
No,
as
it's still
well
big.
play
There's,
shogi,
there's
right?
plenty of because I think a lot of the grandmasters are from Japan.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true actually.
Oh.
But like, yeah, I feel like chess because I remember I got like sucked into this YouTube hole of just like watching a lot of chess videos.
Yeah,
I had
I
like
remember
no
you
interest in
telling
chess.
me. I remember you telling me.
I had no interest in chess, and I'm like, man, this is actually like really interesting because the history and just the entire premise of chess is
Yeah.
like really really interesting. The fact that you like
There's
after
a lot of history.
yeah,
behind
like
chess.
after like it's basically like this massive tournament arc. You know what I mean? And there's like reading about some of like the most historical chess games was like it's like I have no interest in chess, but this was
yeah.
fucking hype. And I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
thinking, man, this would work so well in an anime or manga setting. So I went out to try and find a single chess anime or manga,
Yeah.
and there just wasn't one. And
Right.
I was really really disappointed.
It's surprising, honestly, because like I think the whole stereotype with chess in anime is like, you know, the fucking like transfer student who also happens to be like the daughter of like the giant company is like, let me just do a little bit of chess on the sideline.
Basically, the way chess is used in anime is to make someone look smart.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason for Lelouch to play chess.
Because he's a tactical genius.
Yeah, he's a tactical genius.
Do you ever lead with the king, Connor?
No, you never leave it. For example,
Do you want to tell
Oh,
people
okay.
about your hidden like fucking
that you're like a
skill set?
chess champion?
so when I was 13 or 12. Well, I just started high school. It was after I left primary school. I was playing professional chess.
Yeah.
And like, I like how I ended up in playing professional chess was weird to begin with because I never like played it much. I just liked video games a lot.
Yeah.
And so it was the only video game that my dad would play with me. Was
Yeah.
chess. So it wasn't right. So because if I wanted to,
chess.
yeah, no, it was
Yeah.
just normal chess, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like, I remember I was playing at like year 3. How old are you in year 3 in the UK? Like 8, 9?
8, 9.
And the chess club was only for like the last year, which was like all the 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I remember they wouldn't let me play with them, but they let me play with them, and this is so anime, right? Because outside of the chess club, I beat their best player in a game of chess.
Right.
And then they were like, no, you got to let this guy play with us. He's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
And so I beat them all, and then nothing happened for like 3 years until it was my time to join the chess club, and I was allowed
Yeah.
to join the chess club.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I joined the chess club, and our school had lost like every single chess tournament ever, right? Because
Yeah.
it was like a local. I didn't even know we had this. There was like a local circuit, right, between all the schools played each other, like football and
Yeah.
every other sport, right?
Yeah.
There's one for chess, and I remember that we started playing in that, and also the guy who was number 2 in our chess team, because I was number 1, we were both like equal.
Yeah.
Which is also very anime, right?
He had the rival character and everything.
His power level was on par with mine.
My whole chess experience is genuinely like an anime. So I'm going to keep talking, and there's more stuff to it.
Yeah,
Stuff. And then we just started like winning every single game, like against every other school. Like it wasn't even close. I remember like these kids were bad, and I remember every time they were like, they would be like shocked at how quickly we would beat these kids. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's very different in professional chess to playing against someone who doesn't. In professional chess, it's a long thing, and I'll get more into it later. But and these were games I could win in 20 minutes. Very
Yeah.
like because I could see how they fucked up, and I would take it. And to me, it just made sense, right? I never
Yeah.
practice. I was just good at games, and it made sense. And then one time there was a school, and these guys had been like number 1 for like 10 years in a row or something, because they had a guy who was someone's parent, and he's obsessed with chess, knows like he's very, very good at chess. And we beat his team, and they were like shocked. They were like, Nani? You beat like the prodigy team.
This is like a sports anime.
No,
man.
it
This
is.
is a fucking sports anime.
You could base a chess manga off of your life, honestly.
No, right, because
Yeah.
I remember thinking, like, it was weird because this guy was making, like, a whole commotion. Bear in mind, I was, like, 12. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And this guy was making, like, a whole commotion. He was, like, shocked. And I was sitting there, and he was like, walk me through everything you did. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't write it down. Because most you're supposed to write it down in
Yeah.
professional chess. And he was writing it down. And I thought that was weird. I was like, why would you write down your moves? You just did them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
you're not going to go back? And he was like, which move? Why did you move here? How did you know how to do that and stuff? And I was like, I don't know. I just like did it.
Yeah.
And then he spoke to my mom and was like, you should come to this thing. And it's weird. It's like 200 kids come to a place.
Yeah.
By the way, chess for like kids is a really weird kind of thing. It's just adults pushing a bunch of like
Yeah.
Cambridge kids.
Yeah.
to do it. So I went to a location and there was like 200-300 kids all just playing chess. Then you would get like an opponent, and if you won or lost, you would then play someone who was like won.
Yeah.
And the more you kept winning, the more you would go up. And then
Yeah.
eventually people who won all their games would go on to play for like the area.
Yeah.
Like a
It's
big
It's like a
area.
legit tournament arc.
Legit.
is, right?
And, okay, here's the best tournament arc. I was killing all my games, right?
Yeah.
And I'd won like 4. So you play 7. And I remember I won 4 in a row. They were really easy. My friend as well, he'd lost like 2, and then he was already out. And I
Yeah,
felt
yeah,
bad. I was like,
I'll avenge you. I'll avenge you.
I'll go on for you, friend.
I'll see you in the finals.
and like it's weird because I never had any, like a lot of these kids as well, they would be studying it in between games, but I would just whip out like Pokemon and start playing it.
Yeah,
And then I'd be
yeah.
like, oh, it's my time to go. I'd save and play. But I remember, so like my 5th game was against the guy I beat in my school, like the prodigy team or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had to play him again, and we drew. And it was really like anticlimactic. And I was like, fuck, I beat him last time. I wanted to beat him again. Anyway, I got on the team. And I was okay. I was struggling because this is where it was getting really serious. Like, I was decent enough where I could win like 70% of my games, but it was still starting to get like really long because chess games never went more than an hour.
Yeah.
And then they start becoming like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm 13. And
Yeah.
I'm like, this is kind of taking.
I just want to play fucking
I wanna
Pokemon.
go. Right? But I started winning, and then I got contact, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to play for your country?" And I was like, "Sure, I guess I'll play for my country. Like, why not? Yeah, I'm doing good enough." So I turn up, I go to the first tournament. You won't believe, because I was number 10, so there's 10 seeds, right?
Yeah.
One is the best, 10's the worst. So I was the worst on the country. Worst of the country for the team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess who was number 1? I think I've told you guys this story.
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
It was like the main bully at my school. I shit you
You
not.
can't make this shit up, man.
Right?
You can't make
I
this
shit
shit up.
you not. It was like the main bully at my school who, like, no one knew he did this.
This
And
is
he,
the point in the manga where like the flashback begins.
yeah.
It's like he used to bully me.
He was the main rival all along, right?
He literally was the kid that everyone was scared of. And I remember thinking, like, man, he was really good at Halo Wars too. That was weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then suddenly, like, he's really fucking good at chess. Like, he was
Yeah.
amazing, and he was winning a lot against like really good players. Bear in mind, when it got to this point, it was pretty much me, him, and 8 kids who are going to go to Cambridge.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? The environment was really weird as well. And I remember that was when I really started to not enjoy chess anymore. Is that when I remember when I lost a game, I got fucking bollocked by the coaches. They were furious at me because they would take your sheet, right? Because this is when you had to start writing it down.
Yeah.
They would take your sheet and they would rinse you for your moves
Yeah.
in front of you. And then they would watch you the whole game. So there's like always an area above where they can watch you.
Yeah. Oh
Like in fucking anime. Right? And I remember if you made a move that was under 5 minutes, that was a mistake, you got fucking rinsed for it. Because they were like, you didn't think long enough.
Wow.
You've got to go through the options. Because it gets to the point where you're like, you know that they're thinking just as many moves ahead as you are.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
starting to get really difficult.
Yeah.
Because you're like, fuck, like I haven't studied enough at this point. Because
Yeah.
I never studied chess.
Yeah.
But this is where I was getting to the point where I was against people who were naturally pretty good, but also were studying all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just a really bad environment. I really didn't like it. It was just
Yeah.
like whereas I would finish my games and I'd play Pokemon, they would want to talk about, so why did you move Rook to, F2? Why did you do that? It was really impressive when he moved his, and I was like, I don't. We are playing chess for 8 hours today. I do not want to talk about chess in between my
Yeah,
games,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it was just like a really it was a really weird environment. And I think if I came into chess later in my life, I would have had a more healthy enjoyment of chess.
Yeah.
I still like to play it occasionally, but
Yeah.
I think I'm just like scarred from
Yeah.
the anime experience that I had.
Yeah, because that's what I find so fascinating about chess is just like here talking to you and hearing about your chess story and like reading up and watching like Magnus Carlsen's, I think that's his name. Is it
Yeah, Magnus Carlsen, yeah,
his
he's one of the
story
best.
and how you were just born and you just got the game. They're like there are people who just studied the game,
Yeah.
and then there are just people who just like are geniuses at it and they don't know why.
Yeah.
It's like it's fucking
They were
fascinating.
just born to do
There
it.
was-
right?
It's fucking
Yeah.
fascinating to me.
It was weird because you kind of like, no matter how good you are at something and like how much raw talent you have at
Yeah.
something, when you start competing at such a high level, you start to realize that like it doesn't matter as much, but also you meet people who also like,
Yeah.
there might be like 10 people in that country who also have that same raw talent,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Because then it starts to come to like who can put them.
Yeah.
Because I didn't care about chess.
Yeah.
I never cared about
Yeah,
chess.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just good at it, and I just played it.
That's
I-
such a thing that a protagonist would say.
Right.
I never cared about chess.
Whereas the protagonist would have got to my point, lost, and then been like, I'm going to dedicate my life to chess. I was like, Pokemon Ranger just came out,
Yeah.
so like, I'm going to start spinning around
Yeah,
there.
you took the Hikaru go route,
Yeah.
right? Where you're just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I lost, end of the manga.
And it was just kind of like, it gets to that point when your life where you're like, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
And I remember my parents are so sad because I mean, I don't know why my parents were so invested in it. I think
Yeah.
that it was a mixture of proud and also they love bragging about it. Why wouldn't you, dude? That's so
Yeah,
fun.
of course.
Your series got cancelled from poor sales.
Yeah.
But then I had a spin-off, right? So what happened is about when I was like 16 or 17, I had like a rejuvenation of my enjoyment.
Right.
Do you remember a website called MLG Game Battles? Do you remember that?
I remember that.
So it was where you
familiar,
could
yeah.
like compete against COD, but they also
Yeah.
had Yahoo Chess. And I remember I would compete against like fully grown men and beat them on Yahoo Chess, and they would get so pissed off. And then I joined the local pub, and that was a weird experience.
Yeah.
So I joined the local pub chess team, and I remember, bear in mind, they were all like 80 to 40-year-old men,
Yeah,
always. And I remember one time I was playing against a guy who looked like Ross Kemp, like the biggest, like a skinhead, terrifying dude. Like he's like this over the table.
like a brick shit house.
Yeah,
Like
literally-
every bouncer you see
Literally.
at a nightclub.
And
or
I'm
something
like,
that.
I'm like 15, 16, like this with my Coke, and he had like a pint and like was smoking, and I'm there with my Coke, like occasionally checking my phone. I don't know if that pissed him off, but in between moves, I wouldn't look at what he was doing. I would just check my phone, and I would like, because I'm normally thinking in my moves, so I don't really pay much attention when they're doing it. And I remember when I beat him, and he looked really fucking angry, and I was so scared. Like, I was like, is he gonna hit me? Because he was like this on the table, like this. And he was like, I can't believe you won.
I can't believe you've done this, man.
I can't believe you've done this.
People didn't like losing to a 15-year-old. That happened a lot.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can understand.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
But,
Like-
you know,
I'm just really committed to making this a manga now. Like, just
honestly,
Yeah, please, because like from a narrative perspective, there's so many interesting ways you could tackle just chess as a concept.
I want to
right?
take like that concept of like, you know, your friend being beaten in the preliminary, and then just cut to the scene where you're like in the finals, and your friend is like that one guy who narrates all your moves. He's like
he's the speedwagon.
he's like he just did an en passé. He's like, what's an en passé? En passé is when, and then he just goes on with the explanation.
You know what the one move? Okay, this is gonna sound so nerdy. There's one move in chess that I always wanted to use. And it was I don't know the name of it, but it was the one where like if someone moves their like pawn 2 and then like in front of, if you move your pawn 2,
Yeah.
then they move it 2 as well, that you can then take it.
That's
Yeah,
an
yeah,
en
yeah,
passé.
yeah.
That's
That's
it, right?
on
I always
passé.
wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Dude, using a rook is castling is OP. That's,
Yeah.
You always castle. That's all I remember. Like,
So why did he castle there? It's like, I'll tell you why. He's just
yeah, I don't know, because I remember they tried to teach us. They were like, why don't you use the Indian Prince opening of 1970? And I was like, yeah, because they would, when I would do an opening move, I always did the same opening move because I just liked it. It was like
Yeah.
nice and
Yeah.
symmetrical. I
Yeah.
liked it. And they would always say, why did you use this person, like I said, like the Indian Prince move of 1764.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is that? I just like how the bishop goes whoop. You know,
Bishop goes.
It just feels nice, you know. It just feels.
it's
nice.
hard to explain it when you're a kid because you're just thinking 4 moves ahead and you're like, if this goes here and this goes here and this goes here, then you go that. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
how
yeah,
you see
yeah.
it. It was
Yeah.
weird. I just, it's like any sport I imagine where kids are really good at it and
Yeah.
the adults are really pushy and kind of
yeah.
like almost borderline. Some of the kids, I'd say they had like a predatory relationship with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because a lot of them, again, like I said, they were very rich parents whose kids went to very good private schools and they were destined to go to Cambridge or Oxford no matter what. And they would, you know exactly what I mean, what kind of kids I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Because the
yeah.
moment you spoke to them, you're like, we're from a different world.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
really odd.
Chess
Yeah.
is like their entire world to them, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's all
Yeah,
they've
it was
ever known.
like something that was forced upon them because it was, you know, it's something that looks good on the resume when you
Right.
apply
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Cambridge,
exactly.
you know, like.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it got me a few good jobs, or it helped a lot. I remember some job interviews where they liked playing chess, and they would bring it up, and it was like, "Oh, that's cute. You're good." You know, like, it's like I don't know.
That's cute.
Yeah, it was like, "Yeah, I
No,
played."
that's a really, you know, I think that's like a really interesting story that you have.
Yeah. Bottom line
I
is
don't
we
just
need to
talk about it
turn
much.
this into an anime.
Yeah,
most
I would be,
definitely.
if someone was like, I want to like make a chess anime, I would
Yeah.
absolutely fund
Yeah.
that.
Just like talk to Connor. He has
Yeah.
a very interesting story.
If anyone would like a 3 stories right here.
because like it's the perfect chance to like teach people about how to play chess as well.
I think it's a really good game, and it's one of my favorite things to like sit down and talk to someone about. Just talk and then play
Yeah.
chess.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good way to, I don't know, just have
Yeah,
fun.
exactly.
And it's also fun beating people who think they're good at chess. It's really fun.
The power trip.
Because
Yeah.
I'll meet people who have just been like studying chess. I mean, it's getting really big on Twitch right now.
Yeah, exactly,
And you'll
right.
meet people who are like, you know, they're like really getting into it, and
Yeah.
then you just like stomp them, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh well, because okay, here's the thing, right? Here's the worst part about chess professionally is that you normally know like 5 or 6 moves in if you've lost or not, but you
Right.
have to play it for another 2.5 hours, and all it is, right?
that
is-
sounds crappy.
That's the difference between casual chess and professional chess. Is that casually you always think you can win if you outsmart them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Professional chess, it's just like, how do I drag this out enough so that maybe they'll make a mistake?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And oh god, yeah, it was
Sounds
awful.
horrible.
It was awful. I hated it because it just got to the point where it's like, what's the fucking point in this? It's like being a troll online. It's just like I'm literally just being awkward.
Yeah,
to
you're
this
just
guy.
prolonging the inevitable, right?
Yeah. And it's like I fucked up 30 minutes in, and now I got to put up with this for 2.5 hours.
It's like loading a game of League, and then 5 minutes in, like your own
Someone's
5.
inting.
Yeah,
It's-
so someone's inting. The jungle is just AFK.
You
and you're like,
accidentally-
and you're like, can I just FF now?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
can we just FF? Like, this is like a diamond game right now. Like, no one's gonna make a mistake.
Oh, yeah, because I remember this. You know, I never got praised for winning games. They would always be like, good job. You know when they would praise me? When I made it fucking hell for the other person. Like, I remember when this poor girl, I dragged it out and she made a mistake to a stalemate. Barrett, this game went on for like 3 hours and 20 minutes or something
Jesus,
ridiculous.
my
It
God.
was something fucking long. And I remember I'd lost like an hour in, 100%.
Yeah.
And I just made it awkward. I wasn't playing to win anymore. I was playing to make it awkward for her.
Yeah.
And so I did things that you wouldn't normally do to try and win. You would just do it to cock block everything
Just
that
to
she
annoy
did.
them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember she was getting so stressed. And I remember being like, this is kind of fun, but also like, I hate this so much. And then
just torture, isn't
when I
it?
got back, it was like coming back into the football locker room. They were like, nice one, let's hit the shower, son. You really made it hell for that 13-year-old girl. Congratulations, Connor. Like, I was just like, man, that didn't feel good. Like, I just lost. I got a stalemate. Like, I worked 3 hours for a stalemate. Like, are you kidding me?
Absolute cock tease.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
There's other worse ones though, where like I remember there's people who would constantly like, because you can ask for a draw. You'd be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
do you want a draw? Fuck me, my psychology up because I was like, does this mean I'm winning? Like, does this think he's losing? And one time I remember I regret it to this day. I should have took the draw and I lost
Yeah.
it. And fuck, he gave me an out.
That's the learning experience, man. That's
Yeah.
the character development we need.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
Yeah.
no, exactly.
I got a little trophy. If you won like 3 games professionally, you got a thing called a Wendy. I don't know what it was.
Why is it called a
Wendy?
Wendy?
I don't know. It just says Wendy on
It's
the
just a
plaque.
Wendy's burger.
Yeah, it's like a plaque that just says a Wendy. And I'm sure there's some chess people who know what this is, but I have no idea.
Please,
Yeah.
like, educate
I was
us.
so confused. I was like, why does it not say my name? I won these games.
I'm not Wendy, I'm Connor.
But I think also if you Google my name, I think my chess records come up. In the
Really?
profession.
Oh,
I think
wow.
If you dig deep enough, people
wow.
are going to find them now.
Yeah, yeah.
And you'll see exactly which like county and country I was playing for.
Don't stalk him, then.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk
I
about?
don't think
Sorry,
we-
that was a huge detour.
I don't think we
I'm
can
sorry.
top that chess story, man. Like, that was intense.
That was an intense. That we just watched an entire anime.
It's
and
a
like
story I love telling, but it's one of those things where it's like I can't bring it up if they're not going to be like invested in it because it's such a long story.
But it's a really interesting story. I remember
Yeah,
the first time you told me, I was like, we need to talk about this publicly. You've never talked, because like,
I bring it up
Imagine
occasionally.
just being like, yeah, I was a chess pro by accident. I was like, what do you mean you were a
It's the
chess
most
pro by
amazing
accident?
conversation starter, right? Like,
Yeah.
From a young age, though, I was just always really, really good at video games as well.
Yeah.
Like it always just clicked. Like I'd always just got them. And like to this day, I normally get video games super quickly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
You just have that talent, man.
You're a tensei.
man, if
You are a
if only it was English, eh? And I could learn how to spell. You know, if they gamed English, I'd have been fucking pro. I'd have been pro at English if they'd have made it like a spelling fucking simulator. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Right, I think that's a good place to end it
it's,
then.
thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
We love the memes on the subreddit. Keep it up.
Hey, shout out to the Patreons.
Yeah.
Yes.
As always, if you'd like your name on the screen right now, as you can see, or you'd just like to support the show, then make sure to go over to our Patreon because it helps us out a lot.
Yes, and we also have a subreddit, r/trash taste, and also our Twitter. Our Twitter. Our Twitter. I think that's just Trash Taste Pod as well.
At Trash
right?
Taste Pod, yes.
At Trash Taste Pod.
So make sure to follow us on there. Keep giving us the memes. 'cause
Yeah,
the memes
we
are
love the
fucking
memes.
amazing.
We love the memes.
The
We
fucking
do.
Smash Bros meme.
That's good.
So-
That's good.
so
That was
funny.
You guys are very creative with your memes, and I
Yeah.
appreciate
I'm
them.
loving the memes.
If I don't comment on all of them, doesn't mean I don't appreciate
Yeah,
them.
we go through the subreddit.
We see
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of them.
yeah,
We
yeah.
see
So
all of them.
we see all of them just
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
record.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, this was a diverse episode of
We
diverse.
okay, another thing. So this episode wasn't scripted at all, and none of our episodes are scripted. But sometimes we come in with a
idea,
subject
like a
matter in
theme.
mind or a theme. But this one we were just like, what if we just sit down?
Let's just talk.
Let's just sit down and
just
start talking, and we're not going to worry about
Yeah.
about what we're going to talk about. But we'll just talk about whatever. So if you enjoyed that, give us a comment, because this is I
Yeah.
think our very first one that we just had
Nothing
we
planned.
had nothing planned. We could have just sat here in silence and just been like, so what do you guys want to talk about?
I guess what kind of like balance do you guys want of like? Because I mean, we can do either. We're comfortable doing it.
Yeah,
I think we're really interested to see which one strikes best with you. Do you guys like it when we just throw out anime names, talk about shit,
Yeah.
then move on, or do you like the overall topics? Basically,
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Make sure
about
to
it.
smash that motherfucking like button as always and subscribe.
Share the video and go and subscribe to our own channels.
Ring the fucking bell.
Ring the fucking bell.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been Trash Taste, and I'm with the boys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I gotta pee real bad.